When the normal BS just won't do. ChaoticRadio.com.
How good is the kind of gaming show? Turns out, it's pretty good.
Welcome. Oh, who cares if you're muted?
Are you muted? I'm not.
Yeah, he is. He's totally muted.
Yep.
All right, there
Got
you
it.
go.
Good job.
Gotcha.
Him.
Ooh.
Hey,
Welcome to the Kind of Gaming Show, live
Even me?
on Chaotic Radio.
Even me? Am I welcome?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
welcome back.
Cool.
Welcome back.
Miguel.
Today we got a pretty cool show going on. We are going
We
to...
do?
Yeah, man. We're going to be doing 2 interviews. Usually we only do one for 2 hours, but when we do have guests on, they're usually on for a long time.
I didn't realize I was busy clenching my butt cheeks at this tiebreaker in Overwatch League.
So around 8:05, so in probably like 4 or 5 minutes, the developers behind a cool game called Gunhouse will be calling in, and around 9, we will be getting Faye Mata, the voice actress behind Lulu from League of Legends.
And Mari from Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, she actually
One of my
just
favorite animes.
she just announced more projects. Another project she got casted in like today or yesterday.
Wow.
I was
That's
digging,
awesome. Good for
digging
her.
through her credits. She did another character in League, didn't she?
No, technically she was Lulu. Like she just does all the voices for Lulu in game, but they
Uh-huh.
did a short, and she
Oh.
played Katarina
That's
in a
what it
short.
was. Yeah, okay.
So that's really cool. Yeah, but in the interim, there's a bunch of other stuff going on right now in the gaming world.
Like what?
There
Tell
is?
us.
Yeah, like the Overwatch League. Apparently,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so good it's clenching Miguel's butt.
It's
It's clenching his butt.
it's so pleasantly successful so far. It's only in the middle of the second week right now, but like they've consistently stayed over 100K viewers, which is keeping Overwatch above League of Legends on Twitch.
Good.
So that's pretty
Let's
good.
keep it that way. All right.
That's pretty cool.
You're pretty
It's
cool.
pretty good.
Thanks, man.
What the fuck are you? Oh, that's the game studio.
I was like, what are you
Holy
looking at?
shit.
That's Necrosoft Games.
Cool. I
The
like
people
logo.
behind Gunhouse, who
Oh,
were
man.
kind enough to retweet that we are going to be live today
Woo!
with them.
Even
So-
though we put someone else as the featured guest.
yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, I sent
Cool.
this over to Faye's manager, and he was like, "Man, that's so cool." Yet, no ad. No, I'm just playing. Nothing.
They didn't say it was cool.
No, she said it was cool.
Cool. I
But
made it.
like she's gonna come on and she's gonna be like, "Hello, my manager made me
Can
do
we get this over with?
Yeah, can we get this over with?
Am I getting paid?
Right? Exactly. She, it's actually a little known fact. She rejected being on Conan O'Brien to
What the
come being
fuck?
on here. So,
That's
oh,
not
that's a load of
true.
shit.
no,
Yeah,
yeah, of course.
That's
I was
not
like,
true.
why would you wait?
Yeah.
all of you guys were like, "What? Oh no, he's doing a stupid again."
Yeah, because I heard rejected being on Conan O'Brien, and that was enough to be like, what the fuck? Why? And then you're like, to be on here, and I was like,
I see.
I see. It was a shenanigan. It was a
the only-
bamboozle.
The only way that would be true would be is if
If we made money,
well, no, for whatever reason, because obviously she's not in charge of her schedule.
we
Her
had-
manager is, right? So if her manager told her, "Oh, you're doing this," and then after they're like, "Hey, are you free for this?" I think that's the only reason. But
That
even
would
at that
suck.
point, she would probably blow
Pretty
us
sure
off
she
to
would just cancel
go
us,
do on
yeah.
Conan.
yeah,
right.
I would if I was. in
That
her
would
shoes.
suck having someone like control your life like that.
I mean,
I mean, it's
Just
because
good
it's tough
stuff.
to organize things for yourself, so that's why they hire a guy.
Yeah.
or a woman.
A woman. A person.
Fair enough.
In non-gaming news, actually personal friend news, our good friend Joy Goodman, who was a guest on the show
On the PS1 episode.
on the PS1 episode, she
Damn.
just got cast in a big horror movie
Oh, cool.
by the same studio behind Get Out.
Hey, you
Wow,
sure you're supposed to
Jordan
be talking
Peele?
about that?
Yeah, she posted on Facebook.
Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, you sure she was supposed to do that?
If she was supposed to be talking about that, I don't know, but
She put it on public forum.
Whatever.
and got in
That's
trouble.
really cool.
Whatever. More people probably heard about it from her than we'll hear from us.
yeah, exactly, because
True.
she is more popular than we are.
Absolutely. Most people are.
I wouldn't go about that. I mean, there's at least 2 other shows on Chaotic Radio that have less viewers than us.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, the Jeff Sargent show the other day, they had a really big old school voice actor
Oh, really?
on the show.
What
yeah,
do you do voices for?
like old school cartoons. Hold on, let me look it up.
I was like, are we about to start just shit talking all the other shows?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the
Andrew
fucking throwback vibes. No, I can talk about them because I used to help run that show.
Now
so.
I do.
Connor's digging up all the dirt on all the other shows.
Yeah, right. I really, Connor, just for 1 week, I need you to do every show here. So then when you come back to do our show, you're like, all right, here's the fucking deal, man.
I mean, shit, that'd probably be a pretty good earnings for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Sam Quasman was recently in studio. He was in Tom and Jerry. He's been on Robot Chicken.
Wow.
Robo Chicken.
I like Robot Chicken.
Yeah, he's
Done
been
stuff.
doing stuff for a long time. He was in studio the other day for the Jeff Sargent show, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, with all of that,
Whatever, we had Kriparian.
yeah, we did have Kriparian,
And Magikarp used Fly.
Yeah.
He was a funny man.
and the fighting cowboy,
Fighting cowboy. And the Guernsey.
Grizzly
Grizzly
Guernsey
Guernsey.
Gamer.
Guernsey Gamer.
He's a cool
That
guy.
guy was
I
cool
didn't
too.
mean to start a list of all our guests we had.
Oh well, on top of that, we had Derek Buck.
Ah, shut up,
Yeah,
Andrew.
that's cool too.
Oh wait, yeah, you weren't here for that.
Is that the one I was, or the one of the 2 that I missed?
Yeah, from Classic Game Room,
Ah.
Undertow.
Undertow.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
like, I don't
he's
know what that
cool.
is.
We're gonna have him come back on at some point because he was one of 2 guests, him and Grizzly Guernsey Gamer, that told us first. Yeah, I'd love to come back on.
Nice.
Everyone else was like,
What a cool dude.
Maybe.
I have better
Maybe.
things to do.
Well, they were all like, yeah, for sure. Whenever you
Everybody
said, like,
says
we'd love
that.
to have you back. And they're like, yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
yeah.
Then
And
you hang up
then
the phone like,
Yeah.
fuck those
and then
guys.
they're yeah, right. And then they've been ghosting me ever since.
Yep.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Sorry, we got him once.
Hooray
It's
for
all that
Dipper
matters.
Duper Day.
Yeah, exactly. I might as well put the cat out of the bag. Last week
Take
I
it
was
out
kind
of
of
the bag. Stop
yeah,
suffocating that
I'm
cat.
taking the cat right out of the bag.
That's
Last
animal
week
abuse.
I kind of was teasing. I was like, "Oh, we might have like a huge guest on this
Yeah,
week.
what's going on with that? I need to
We might
know
have a
too.
huge guest on this week." So, we were in talks to have Troy Baker
Yeah.
on the
Spoiler
show.
alert, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, spoiler alert, no.
Booker DeWitt.
Yeah, Booker DeWitt, Joel
DeWitt, Booker
from
DeWitt.
The Last of Us. And he got back to us and he was like, I'm respectfully going to say no.
That makes sense.
But at least he said it respectfully.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Troy.
Yep.
Also, Gladiators just won.
Hey! Fuck yeah. Nice.
Who's the worst team so far in Overwatch League?
The Shanghai Dragons.
What,
easily.
What record are they?
There's only been 4 games per team so far for the ones that have.
Are they
finished.
0-4?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's who I'm rooting
Well, he
for now.
said-
What's the
Easily,
Gladiator
so.
score right now?
The Gladiators
Now
are
that they
now
just won.
2-1, I think.
2-1.
Yeah, because they haven't done their second game for the week yet.
Where are the
Okay.
Gladiators from?
LA.
LA.
There's
really?
2 LA teams, the Valiant and the Gladiators. The Valiant look better, but
The
they just
Valiant and the Gladiators. It sounds like that's one team. The Valiant Gladiators.
Yeah, right.
yeah, the Valiant seem to be the better LA team based on performance so far.
But you're liking the Gladiators more.
I am.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
Connor's all about them because they're purple.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. It was like I was like I'm definitely wanted to choose one of the LA teams because it's sports and might as
Right.
well go with the local team. And then it
Right.
was like, oh, one of them is purple. That's my favorite color. We're going with them.
Do they also have a green accent?
No, it's,
no,
white.
The Valiant are green and yellow.
No, but it has to be purple with a little bit of green
It's purple and white.
You're talking
and
about
some
yeah,
orange. Yeah.
Hey, look at Andrew up on his IMDb.
Yeah, I have
You
one
vain
credit.
motherfucker.
I have one credit on IMDb.
What is it?
It's called The Valentine. I was gay couple number 1.
I think I
Nice.
have
You
more
were
than
you
that.
alone
play
were a
the
gay couple.
man.
That's the way it was credited in
That's
the
funny.
credits.
So your gay husband 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because the other gentleman, the other guy playing the other half, was also named Andrew.
He identifies.
Oh,
He identifies as 2 gay men.
I have like 2 credits on IMDb.
I'm about to have a second.
Was the movie any good?
Yeah, it's a good short.
Okay.
It's a short film. It's cute.
It looks like a student film.
Well,
Being
he's no
respectful about
longer
it.
he's no
Oh,
longer
yeah, that's a valley, isn't
he's no longer a student.
Oh, that's cool.
So that is a student film though.
At the time that this was made,
That's
yes,
on campus.
but since then, I know the director has gone on. Alan Sanchez, who you were in a film for him.
I was
Well,
going to be
a
and then-
trailer, but then the
the whole-
Kickstarter failed, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And then I was gonna be in another one of his, but the funding also dropped on that one.
in any
And
case,
like the producer, like the second producer left, all that shit.
he what was it? He's gone on to make award-winning films, like at indie festivals and stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah,
So,
those are good films.
Dope.
I
Yeah,
like indie
usually.
films.
usually. So I have one credit, and it just makes me happy.
You got a good headshot going on there.
Do I?
Yeah, it looks good.
I know it makes me look so much better than I actually look in person.
That's
Well,
the
it's because
point of a
I think
headshot, yeah.
it's that your beard is trimmed there.
That is the perfect amount of beard for me, if I'm being honest. I think.
Me too, and that's what I'm
Well-
trying to achieve. But this is what it comes out to be because I don't have blonde hair.
we have like several stages of beard in the studio.
Yeah, kind of goes me, Miguel, Andrew, Connor.
Yeah, probably.
I can't see Connor right now,
Looks
so I don't know who's longer.
I know yours is probably thicker, but is mine actually longer right now, Connor?
Presently, probably because I trimmed it down because I'm just gonna have it all one length now.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
haven't-
usually have it. I usually taper it.
This
Yeah.
is kind of gaming, right?
Yeah.
Kind of gaming.
Yeah.
Beards
a
are
beard
things.
game.
I mean, they're okay.
I used to
So
have a curly mustache.
I got a
Did I
question
not?
for you guys then. So, best beard in gaming.
Best beard in gaming? Max
Oh.
Payne?
Max Payne's is
No.
pretty good when he's got
Yeah.
the fucking
That shit's
bald head
solid.
going on.
I think
Yeah.
it's subjective because, like, what I think is a good beard is like scruff.
Just
Like, because
oh,
if there's like
double.
a big, like, boom beard, it's
Best
like, eh.
quality beard though. Like Max
So-
Payne's is
Kratos
so
has got a
fucking-
pretty rocking one
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
In the
okay,
new
I
one?
That's true.
I
That's
think
true.
Kratos might be
new beard
winning
is
I was
pretty
this
good.
I was gonna say the two
Yeah.
that jump to mind are Kratos and the new God of War
Yeah.
and Lords of the Fallen. Like I've never played it, but you look at the cover and there's
Yeah,
just
it's a big
this
meaty
guy.
What
Viking
about
beard, dude.
the dictator on from Tropico?
Again,
Oh,
Comstock.
no. Oh, you guys haven't played
Comstock's
Horizon,
gotta
huh?
go.
Have you guys played Horizon Zero Dawn?
I have.
No.
Oh,
We have not.
yeah,
They had
the
crazy,
dad, right?
Yeah, they had like braids and everything going on. They were
Those are
nice.
pretty good.
I was gonna say
beards.
Nice
Torbjorn.
beards.
Torbjorn's
Torbjorn.
beard is as big as his body.
Yeah. Some of his
A lot
skins
of,
make
lot
it
of
look
good
nice
beards
too.
in gaming.
A lot of good ones.
I'm trying
Way
to.
to, way to turn that one around. Andrew.
Sebastian Castellanos.
Oh, this camera's not moving. I don't think. I was like, the camera for me right now looks a little weird because it's just my profile, and there's a lot of time where I'm just staring at you guys. So
I was hoping you were going to say it's just your beard.
Oh yeah. Zooming in. Oh yep, we got a phone call.
So we got a phone call.
Oh boy.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's probably the dev behind Gunhouse
Oh, cool.
and from Necrosoft
I
Games.
want to know
If it's
do
not,
you know
though-
what he
It'd be
does, like game developer or designer.
I'm not
Well,
sure
we'll
who
ask
we're
him.
sending.
Those are questions you can ask him.
Love to.
Here he is.
All right. Hi, you are live with the Kinda Gaming Show. How are you this evening?
Hello, I'm pretty good.
Hey.
Awesome. So who are we talking to from Necrosoft Games?
We are talking to Brandon Sheffield, who is the creative director from Necrosoft.
Nice. Nice to meet you, Brandon. I'm also Brandon. I'm in school for game
Oh.
design right now, so pleasure to have you on.
Nice. Hooray.
Nice. So it's nice to have you on, man. So why don't you go ahead and for anyone who doesn't know, because I know what Gunhouse is, Connor knows what Gunhouse is, but the other two gentlemen on our panel don't entirely know what it is. So
were just
Trying to watch a
explain.
video and I
Yeah.
could not figure out what was going on.
yeah, so if you could if you could explain it, like sell it, you have 30 seconds. No, I'm just playing.
Well, I'm not very good at selling myself here, but Gunhouse is basically an endless tower defense meets puzzle game thing that has weird art and music by Disaster Piece and code by the guy that made Frog Fractions. And that's pretty much, those are our main selling points there, but
Those
it's
are the
like a
draws.
weird thing that we created through, man, it came from a game jam like
Oh.
several years ago.
Dude, the art
Um,
looks awesome. The art is beautiful.
I like it. It reminds me of the old Newground style.
Some of the art, it gave me kind of gave me like a Rick and Morty feel to it because it got like the kooky faces going on. And,
Ah.
yeah.
Interesting. We began the
Interesting.
making that game long before Rick and Morty existed. So
Good.
So really, Rick and Morty looks like Gunhouse.
Yes.
yeah, they owe us some back royalties, I think.
Yeah.
No, the
You
colors are awesome.
definitely
The
got a
shapes,
lawsuit
the
on your hands here.
designs, like it's really well done. I love the character designs. The color
there's-
is really
Oh, there's a lot more
Really good.
damage types.
So
Okay.
so if where did the art style come from? Like where did you guys draw inspiration from? Because it is a very original art style. It's very bright and vibrant.
very 90s.
Yeah. So my buddy Juan Ramirez, who I've known from forums for a long time, he just always was kind of gravitating toward this specific style. Like it's purely his style. It's how he draws.
Mhm.
I'm not exactly sure what his own influences were. I think that he draws from like both kind of some manga stuff and also some like Mexican comics that he used to read when he was a kid,
Nice.
and it sort of turned into this amalgam. And a weird thing about the visual design of Gunhouse is if I ever ask Juan for like a very specific thing, like I want this thing that's this color and this size, he has a really hard time doing it. But if I say give me 5 skeletons, then they're all perfect. So or if I'm like give me a funny dog, it's just like spot on. So the vaguer the better for details with him.
That's awesome. And
That's funny.
you did say that this. Well, actually, I'm not sure if you said it, so I apologize. But the game is a tower defense puzzler, and
Yeah.
that's not exactly a genre that has been mashed up before, at least not that I've seen. So
Well-
where did you get that idea, and why did you want to mix the two?
It's kind of like Tetris Attack, I think.
Oh yeah, I guess Tetris Attack has a bit of that. But the idea came from pretty much I knew that I wanted to. The game was called Gunhouse before it was a game, so I knew it needed to have guns and a house. And it originally started as like a action platformer thing. That was the very first prototype, and then it went through a whole bunch of iterations. But the real kind of catalyst was when there was this DS game called Soloto Robo, and in that game, the inventory system was kind of Tetris-y. Like you had these different blocks you had to fit into one space, and I thought that was actually like a really cool idea. And then it just kept evolving from there. When it first started, it actually wasn't as much of a tower defense game. It was more of an action puzzle game. Like you had to. Right now, it's sort of turn-based. Like you do the puzzle, and then you do the tower defense, then you do the puzzle again. But when we first started, it was actually all happening simultaneously, and you were like dragging the guns to aim them at specific enemies, and it was way too much. So we the tower defense aspect actually came from the fact that we had overloaded everyone with way too much information, and nobody knew what was going on. So to slow it down, we're like, oh, okay, this could actually work.
That
That's
sounds like a
cool.
challenge mode that could have existed or something.
Yeah.
Endless or something.
And was this made? What program did you use to develop it?
We used Unity for the game engine, and but originally it was actually made in the PlayStation Mobile software development kit.
That's what I
Whoa.
was thinking because it looks like a mobile game.
Well, so first, like PlayStation Mobile is a kind of a weird beast because it was kind of like, if you remember Xbox Live Indie games, it was sort of like that, but for the Vita. It was a way to put games on the Vita without having to be like a bigger licensed developer or having a software, like an actual Vita kit. So we made it with those tools, but it was actually kind of a Vita game first, and then we put it into Unity later and made it a kind of a mobile version of it. But then we brought it back to Vita Native and now to Switch. So it's a little bit of a mobile game, but it actually started on console.
That was actually kind of my next question, is that you started out on like the indie section of the Vita, and now you're being released on the Switch, which is, you know, the best-selling console of 2017 and going into 2018. How did
Yeah.
your relationship with Nintendo get started, or how did it end up getting onto the Switch?
So with Nintendo, I have a good relationship with a bunch of people there, but was ultimately unable to get an actual SDK from them. So I couldn't get a kit to make the game with. But the office that we work out of, 2 out of 3 of us, there's a company called Other Ocean that also Digital Eclipse is housed there. They do things like the Street Fighter 30th anniversary collection that's coming out. They did that.
Nice.
And we just work in their office because they had some free office space for us.
Oh, that's rad.
And they had, they had kits lying around, and I basically just bullied them into becoming our publisher.
That's so cool.
Because I just bothered them every day, and I was like, "Hey, I'm just sitting right there. Maybe we slide that over here." So, once we had an agreement, and they got set up with Nintendo, then we were able to use the kit and do all that, because they also did like the Minecraft 3DS version.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're in kind of in a good relationship with Nintendo, so it made it pretty smooth.
So, is there any chance in the future that the game will get a physical release, whether that be actually through Nintendo or from like limited? What is that company called? Limited Run
Limited
Games?
Run. Yeah, that's actually definitely going to happen. We're going to do Vita and PS4 with Limited Run. I would love to do Switch also, but that's up to them. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the game is actually coming to PlayStation 4 in like a month or so as well. So we'll be doing Limited Run with like 2 different reversible covers and different like little comic inside of each one and stuff like that.
Nice.
I-
And did you guys? Sorry, I just want to ask some questions. How'd you get into game design? Like, did you go to school for it, or did you just kind of figure it out on your own?
Oh yeah, I mostly figured it out on my own, but I had a strange path.
Yeah.
Basically, I was a game journalist for quite some time, and I ran a magazine called Game Developer Magazine, which was the biggest actual like print publication for game developers.
Oh, rad.
And so when I was doing that, I was, I was editing these articles and choosing them and talking to game developers all the time. And so in a way, I was learning from that experience, because I was reading all this stuff, absorbing all this information. And so, I started actually working on games in 2005 when I was mostly doing writing in games,
Mm-hmm.
like writing stories or doing translations or things like that.
Right.
Then eventually in 2012, I was like, I gotta just do this thing full time. This is what I'm gonna do. And I was like, I've learned all these things. I'm so smart. I'm not gonna make any mistakes. And then just like the next 2 years, all I did was make terrible mistakes constantly.
Yeah, that's how you learn, though.
Yeah. And it was the real way that I learned was by doing stuff wrong, but also by showing what I had to other designers that I respected. Like the reason that we wound up making Gunhouse kind of turn-based, like split into those phases that it split into, is because I was showing the game to Cliff Blazinski at a party,
Whoa.
and he's like, "There's way too much stuff going on, man. I don't know what the heck to do at any given time. Why don't you like slow it down and just let me do this part and then just let me do that part?" And I was like, "Oh, so I could do like a turn-based thing." And he's like, "Yeah, or something." And then he walked away.
Nice. That's a really
But
cool
I was like-
interaction, though.
So-
Yeah, it actually really wound up helping. That there were a lot of other designers that really helped me solidify my ideas and figure out what I was doing with this thing.
So, I guess the question should be: is did he get credit in the credits?
Yep, he's in there.
Oh, nice.
Every game designer that actually really helped me out is in the there's some kind of specific mechanical thanks section.
Very cool. So a little bit more aside. Well, before we move on from Gunhouse, really quick, where can people buy it? How much does it cost? And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so people can get it on the Switch and the PlayStation Vita, and soon to be the PlayStation 4 for $14.99. The Vita and PlayStation 4 versions will be cross-buy, so you only have to buy it once, and you get it on both.
Nice.
That's always nice.
Then you can also get it on iOS and Android for $3, but that's actually, it is an older version with fewer features in it, and eventually we'll probably port all our new features over to iOS and Android, and then raise the price.
Nice.
I love that laugh at the end. I don't know why he's like, we're gonna do this and raise the price.
Yeah, well, it's just like, it's such an unusual thing to do, and I was kind of uncomfortable with charging that little for the game in the first place, and so I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna raise it back up there to what I think it should be, and
Right.
then
I mean, you guys put a lot of time and effort into something. You know, you want to get your money's worth.
yeah, and everybody that already owns it, of course, will get all the upgrades for free and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
So buy it now. No, actually, no. Wait to buy it. Buy it
Give this man
later
his
so you
money.
can give this man his money.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy it on Switch. That's what I say.
Buy it on
Buy it
Switch.
on Switch. Absolutely. That's how we played it. So a quick question about you, my man. We were talking about Gunhouse and the development and all that, but you personally, what are some of your favorite games to play? And if you had to pick one, what is your favorite game of all time?
That's a very difficult question, but I grew up playing all consoles really, but my favorite was the TurboGrafx PC Engine,
Wow.
and
Nice.
Sweet.
I moved
Don't
on
hear that
from there
often.
to the moved on from there to the Saturn, and actually right now I'm replaying through Grandia on the Saturn, the Game Arts RPG that's there. But if I had to choose my favorite video game, boy, that would be a really, really tough one. I could maybe go console by console and choose, or genre by genre.
Sure. So what's your favorite platformer?
Bonk's Revenge
Oh,
for the
Bonk.
TurboGrafx.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bonk,
Bonk
is
is,
fantastic.
I didn't know
It
there was
is
a
pretty
Bonk's
wild.
Revenge. Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the first games that made me feel like I was walking around in a universe that could go on without me. Like if I weren't there smashing things, especially when you get to the city level that happens at night, they're just people there, or well, they're not people, but you know the enemy characters are just there like hanging out their laundry and like cooking stuff and living in their houses, and there's little smoke coming out of the chimneys, and it just made me imagine what would this place be like if Bonk weren't here
A lot
smashing
better.
things.
That's a
with his
really cool
skull.
observation, though. That's something that a lot of people, when they think of their favorite game, don't think about. So that's really interesting.
Vibe is really important for me in a video game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you can answer this. It's something that, you know, I always try to ask most of our guests that come on, is there anything new in the works from Necrosoft that you are allowed to talk about, and something like maybe a little tidbit that we could get?
Sure, there are a lot of things that we're working on. We're always working on a bunch of stuff and kind of spinning plates, as it were, because we have one of the ways that we actually make games is by making a small version of something and putting it on like a new platform like PlayStation Mobile or Humble Originals or something like that, and then we make a bigger version of it later. So we have a lot of games that are in kind of like alpha or beta phases. They're complete, but they're small. So we've got Oh Dear, which is a pseudo 3D racing game that you can buy a beta of on Humble, and it's entirely 2D and sprite based. There's no actual 3D in it, but we got that nice scaling effect going on.
The Mode 7.
Little pole position
Yeah.
look.
That's
And
so
it's
cool.
the music is by Motohiro Kawashima, who did the music for Streets of Rage 3.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, Um,
Reaction.
Well,
Lot of-
this
lot
has
of-
no 3D in it. Like we're looking at the gameplay right now.
That's really good looking.
yeah, there's no 3D. It actually was really hard to get it looking like that. We, I don't want to boast too much, but we have not found anybody else that is doing it this way.
You're allowed to
most-
boast. This is 100% the platform
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
like-
can
Okay.
boast as
I'm
much
looking
as
at
you
it
want.
like, okay, you didn't animate it frame by frame, but there has to be something going on there.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's all scaling and rotation is what it is.
That's
So
nuts.
each, you know how they're like in these kind of pseudo 3D games, there are different road colors. Like the road alternates between light gray and dark gray and whatnot.
Yeah.
Each one of those lines is one row of sprites.
I see it.
And so you can have basically the car is animating on top of all of these scaling rows of sprites, and the background has parallax but doesn't move.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically how it is. And then when you're on a turn, all the sprites rotate at the same time to create that illusion of the camera moving.
Oh,
That's
wow,
incredible.
It
I
works
love that.
really well.
I love
And
watching
it's-
it.
It was pretty weird putting it together because like there are caves in there and stuff, and so in order to have a cave, sometimes we'd break it up into three parts. You'd have the left part, the right part, and then the top, and all the rest of it is transparent so that you can appear to be going through it. And we'd have to like manually arrange where those are on the screen so that they actually fit together and form an archway.
That is incredible. I love that. Like just
Yeah,
watching
we-
this gameplay. It's just
Yeah, we're watching clips of it.
it's a blast to watch it.
I love the
We,
deer, the price
We
tag.
always do stuff the hard way.
Yeah, no, that's the best way. Do you have someone who is it the same animator?
No, that's actually, we had a lot of different artists working on that. Several different pixel artists, one art director, and like 7 or 8 pixel artists had to do all the art on that stuff.
They did an excellent job. Excellent
Thanks.
job.
And then we've got another game called Gunsport, which is basically 2v2 cyberpunk volleyball with guns.
I like Cyberpunk. Bring that up.
I like volleyball.
I'm sensing a theme.
It-
Gun word.
Gun word.
Yeah, this one's very SNK influenced, I guess you could say. It was visually influenced by King of Fighters 2001, and in terms of the characters and their proportions and stuff. But it's more or less volleyball with goals and guns. You're shooting the ball instead of hitting it with your hands.
Damn.
And so that's a game that we're working on as well. We were working on it for quite some time, but then it went on hiatus for a while.
I feel like
but
this
we're
could
doing it
be a
again now.
really competitive game.
Yeah, that's the intention. We wanted to make it like a mini light esport kind of thing. There are team attacks and different weapons per character, and there's a fair amount of depth to it, but we found that there was perhaps too much depth too quickly, so people were a little overwhelmed when trying to play it for the first time, and so that's what we're working on right now, how to make everything more easily understandable for the player faster.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a hard concept to kind of, shoot at a ball that's moving. And it's like
Yeah.
a 2D platform, I feel like a lot of people might have a trouble with that. Especially if it's on
Yeah.
console, if PC and mouse a little bit different, but controller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the challenges are that people are trying to shoot the ball, they're also trying to learn their weapons, they're also trying to learn what the control scheme is at the same time. And there are also rules about reloading and rules about points, and there's just a lot of information to come at you at once, and so that's what we're kind of breaking down now and seeing how we can simplify that for players without actually simplifying what the core of the game is, because we like how it plays. We just need to make it, friendlier for people. So it's more about changing the kind of the trappings outside of the core.
Mhm.
Definitely. I think it's on the right track, though. I think it's a pretty cool concept.
I really
Yeah,
like
it's
the
pretty unique.
cyberpunk aesthetic. It looks
Yeah.
cool.
Thanks.
Always.
And then-
cyberpunk.
Our last thing that we're working on, you won't be able to find any information about it anywhere because we haven't announced it or anything. But it's a tactics RPG with a unique battle system and a lot of cool, weird stuff in it. That
Are there guns?
there are no guns in this one.
But the title's still gun word, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Gun game.
Gun
That has nothing to do
tactics.
with guns. That'd be
No, there it
Yeah,
is. You got it
that's it.
right. It's gun game, but then like the game is about how guns have been outlawed, and you have to go into games. I don't-
Right.
Yeah.
Nailed it, right? No, I don't know. This is why I don't.
Pretty much.
This
Look,
is-
we're not game. Well, I guess Brandon is. We're not. Game
Brandon
designers.
is, but this is why we're on radio, and you are out there making amazing looking games. So,
We're trying.
all right, I really look forward to playing Oh Dear and all of your games. To be
Gunsport.
quite honest, Gunsport.
I'll play Oh Dear. That looks like a blast just to run over deers.
Right.
Right?
With those
I
graphics,
will
like,
pay
that's amazing.
666 to run over deer through a
That's a
cave.
blast.
Absolutely. So I just want to say thank you very much for coming on. Real quick before you go, where can people follow you if they want to, keep track of what you're doing or what the company's doing?
Yeah, so we are on Twitter and Facebook at Necrosoft Games, and I myself am on Twitter as Necrosofty, like Necrosoft with a Y. And yeah, you can follow up with us there. You can always, I'm pretty easy to find, and I try to answer people's questions and stuff. So feel free to hit me up, and hopefully people enjoy the stuff we're putting out.
Sounds good. Man.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, brother. You have a good night.
You too.
All right.
What a cool guy.
What a cool
Fun.
dude.
I'm still stuck on like how they did that, like the mode 7 effect.
Yeah,
with,
did
like,
That looks cool.
there's- Like I'm thinking of
That
frame
looks
by
super dope.
frame, like programming that. That's amazing.
It's like Contra on crack. Well,
Yeah.
Super Contra.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but when I was watching the gameplay, I just thought of that kid from the movie. It's the Power Glove. It's so bad.
It's so bad.
But
I know. The way you said that was funny.
that's how it says it in the movie.
I know. That's why it was funny.
Like, I don't know. Like, it looks really good. That was really cool. That was a pleasure having him on.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Cool guy.
Yeah. So now we got about 20 minutes till break, and then Faye Mata is going to be joining us. Of course, she's the voice of Lulu, along with
Mari from Mob Psycho 100.
and a bunch of other things. She's also a former professional gamer. She has played at Evo and
Really? What game? Street Fighter 2?
Smash, I think.
Smash, I think.
Oh.
But I'll have to. Well,
What's her
that's
name?
something you can ask her.
Yeah.
It's something you can definitely ask her.
I had something that I think is interesting to talk about because it seems to be like people who like aren't crazy Nintendo fans are totally okay with it, but Nintendo fans for some reason hyped themselves up for nothing, like the Nintendo Labo.
Oh,
That
yeah.
thing, okay, can I talk about that really quick?
Like I just want to like the first things I want to outline that like before we go into the
Right.
meat of it. So people are like, oh, it's $70 for cardboard, and I'm like, well, it's a game. And if you call a game $60, then it's $10 for the cardboard kit that comes with the pre-cut cardboard and the string or whatever, just to make
Right.
you build it together. But like people are like going like if you look online, there's people that are just going crazy about like that it's stupid and it's a waste of
No,
money.
I think
To be-
it is cool for adults. Giving cardboard to kids and they have to build that crap with cardboard, that's not going to last more than like 5 days for kids.
I mean, it
Like,
depends
especially-
on the kid, really.
Yeah, I know. It does depend on the kid, right? I'm just being general. But
Right.
even like all the mechanics and contraptions that they have to use, like the robot where they're punching, like with gizmos that are made out of cardboard, like that's not going to last. And
I have
I had an idea that was pretty good, a way to get replacement cardboard. But either way, it's like I think it's cool for adults that know what they're doing and that are careful, and respect what they're playing with.
responsible kids.
Responsible, because a lot of kids that have Switches that are going to be playing with this, they drop their Switch, 5 times a day. What are they gonna do
That
with
is
some
the original
cardboard?
reason they made the screen plastic instead of glass, is because they
Interesting.
wanted to make the Switch tougher for drops and whatnot.
So no cracks. I mean, $10. I mean, it's cardboard, yeah, but $10 isn't bad for
They're-
like a DIY
I
kit for like
really-
anything like
Yeah,
this.
I really think they're gonna have refills for like $10 that you can go buy. Like, oh, you fucking ruined. Your
Parents are gonna
cardboard.
get pissed though, because they're gonna have to be there like buying 3 a week.
Now, like this is completely speculation, but my thoughts on it are that this is kind of a testing ground. Like they're doing this to see if people are interested in it and if people like the idea, and then they'll upgrade the materials later on.
I hope so, but I think if they were doing a test run, they wouldn't charge full price for a game.
Uh-huh.
You
Well,
know,
it's
it would be
Nintendo.
like $40 maybe, and it comes with the cardboard.
right.
Because how long can a game last you? I mean, if you're playing the piano thing, it's like that's
Well,
not a game that has.
The piano one, at least it's not just a little 13 key piano. It also has like other stuff going on. You basically make music with it.
Oh,
So it
that's
has
pretty
like
cool.
there was very few details given. It looks like they might end up doing like a Mario Paint type thing though, where you can make music and whatnot with it.
It's a cool idea. Again, for adults, I think it's awesome because
Mhm.
we're responsible and careful when it comes to paper, especially putting it together. Like that's complicated stuff.
See,
I mean, at least the shapes there.
that's the funny thing you say though, is that you like it's cool for adults, but like people online are like, this is stupid. Like, why would any adult want this? It's like only kids. And then what was funny though is Nintendo, like, people act like they hyped it up for months or something, like this is some big announcement. But,
Right.
but
Just-
morning of, Nintendo was like, hey, we have an announcement today for kids and kids at heart. And then it was like 4 hours later they released the video of this.
I feel like people were just like, man, you know what would blow people
Another
away? I feel
gimmick.
like, what if Nintendo? Do you think it would be a good idea for Nintendo to have a Nintendo exclusive Lego game that takes their franchises and turn them into the Lego
Yeah,
games?
I think that would be
Oh
excellent.
yeah, we probably. I mean, like the biggest selling licensed Lego set is Minecraft. It's actually beat Star Wars by a lot.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't mean an actual physical set. I mean
Oh,
like the
like even still though, like a physical set, I think it would be amazing. with
He's just saying
Nintendo
Lego is
characters.
crazy
Oh, okay.
popular. It's like the
Yeah.
Lego games are all insanely successful.
Right. It's like even though most like the Lego franchise games, those are really fun.
Yeah.
They are a lot
I
of
think,
fun.
but like when they make like other certain Lego games, it's like Lego Worlds. It was like they took Minecraft, which is like kind of like virtual, and it was kind of. I didn't really care for it, but it ended up selling decently. With,
No,
like,
not
the
as much
kids.
as the other. Like
Yeah,
Lego
right.
Worlds is not as popular as
Nowhere near
Jurassic
as-
World.
Yeah.
I really liked
Lego too.
Lego Marvel. Lego Marvel, the first one,
Have you
Heroes.
play the second? It looks cool.
I have not played the second.
I was always a fan of the Lego Star Wars
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, I
But
played them back in the
I
day.
even loved the third one with the Clone Wars. Like that was so much fun.
oh yeah,
But I stopped at like I think Lego Indiana Jones 2. I liked when they didn't speak. And now that they
Oh,
have
yeah.
voice acting, I'm like, a little weird.
yeah, it's
So-
it's a little strange, but
I
The
thought it
humor-
was funny. The,
the
humor
humor was
worked.
super creative
Yeah,
when they were silent.
because they didn't have voices.
what does that make you guys think though? Like, I mean, we all know that like a lot of the gaming community is toxic as shit.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
like what do you think about that though? Like when Nintendo will just say, "Hey, we're really," and then everyone's like pissed off that it wasn't Smash Bros or Animal Crossing.
no,
or, it
we
was
were
like-
at GameStop watching it. Like someone watched it in the back, pulled it out on the iPad as they announced it. We were sitting there like, that's a bad idea for kids, especially like us working at a retailer that's probably going to sell it. You know, it's like, oh man, we're going to get so many complaints about how they rip the cardboard and how they're going to try to return it defective. If like one little thing rips and they can't build
I
it, they're
wonder
going to
how
be so
strong this
pissed.
cardboard's gonna be though,
Oh my
because some
God.
cardboard is like pretty goddamn
That's
sturdy.
true. It could be like cut board, I think, where it's like or chipwood, whatever, where it's like almost like a wood material.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, that would be good. Like I was thinking that. Like I thought it was a little strange, like because there's tendencies where, especially that robot where it's on your back and you have the strings and pulleys.
That's like pulling, with
It's-
your fist trying
yeah,
to punch.
Like
That's gonna be
if
destroyed.
if you made the pulleys just like an inch too short,
yeah,
you're gonna end up like at a full extension of your arm,
Gonna
like
rip
with
it
a
off.
fast punch. It's like, and if you don't rip it, you'll like bend it. As it happens with a lot of cardboard because it finds that crease and bends.
Right, and it's
But-
gonna be on like when it showed it open, it has like gears that are like protruding, so it's
Yeah.
not like just a flat thing. So if it's pulling on this thing, it's gonna, the wire's just gonna bend it.
The
I
one
don't think it
the
was-
one like plus side to the cardboard though that I saw, like that's not a gaming related thing or a usable thing, that's like kind of good in foresight if this is what they were thinking, is if it's a failure, they're not really contributing to like a crap ton of landfill and whatnot. It's like
It's true.
it's like, oh, it's all cardboard, it could be recycled, or turns into mulch and like
top of that, it was
has one
cheap.
rain.
I got a question because legitimately, I heard Nintendo Labo,
Yeah.
didn't pay any attention to it. Like I have no idea. This is the first time I looked at it. Do you need to build the cardboard to play the games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
they
they
interact with
said
it.
technically you don't. They said like when they showed the robot one,
So
there is a way to play it without it.
So does the cardboard have like wires and
It's probably got
stuff in it?
sensors.
There's so
it comes with like
if you
wire
so it comes with like like
And
a
a
wire
soldering
string.
kit?
No, it's like wire. It's like string and stuff.
string.
So what happens on the robot one? You put one Joy-Con on your head, so it'll track like your head movement and stuff.
It's like a headpiece.
Yeah, but like it doesn't use the screen as a. It's not a VR.
Sure.
I originally thought it was, but then I took a second look. And then you put a backpack on that has the other Joy-Con with the IR sensor. And there are little panels that when you use the pulley systems, because there's one in each hand and then one on each foot, and it causes pulley systems to move in the backpack, and that IR sensor senses the movements of those pulleys, and it makes the movement happen on screen
So you're looking at the screen that's propped up
Okay.
or
So
on TV.
or
yeah.
TV.
I will say that this game is going to cause people like me who become dads like hemorrhages.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I can't build shit.
No,
little
that's what
little Jimmy's gonna be like, "Dad, build this for me," and then like 3 hours later,
gonna
"Dad,
rip
is it
it.
ready yet?" Ugh.
It is panels with like pre-cut, and it's like one. They're labeled like 1, 2.
it shows you on the Switch
fold
how to
it.
build it, like animated instructions. But
cool.
either way,
Do not. I would
That's-
not put it past
No, right.
myself to put it together wrong.
that's
still.
why I brought up, us working at a retailer that's going to sell this. We're going to have to deal with the parents complaining about it.
Yeah.
Just like we saw it with Imaginators, the Skylanders. We saw it with Lego Dimensions. Any of those interactive things, it's a nightmare for retail.
Yeah, I never quite understood that. Like, if you're a parent and you're making this purchase decision, you would think you would do some research and be
Yeah.
like, oh, if I'm gonna buy Skylanders, like, I know that there's going to be tons of them. Like, and my kid's going to want more of them. You know, like the one thing when I was working there that both annoyed me and didn't at the same time because it was really easy, but it was when someone would be on their phone and be like, Jimmy wants this, and just points their phone at it and be like, oh, okay. So you just go grab it, and it's like that part's super
What
easy.
console? Oh, the Xbox 4.
The Game Boy.
Yeah, right.
I like when they say the Xbox 4. I'm like, the PlayStation 4 or
People
the
say
Xbox
that?
One? Oh, yeah. A lot
Oh,
of parents,
shit.
like when they show it, like Call of Duty. Oh, do you want PS4 or Xbox One? Oh, shit.
Goddamn, taking interest.
That
in
happened
no
all
idea.
the time.
All the time.
And then-
Like, is it blue or is it green? Oh, God, I don't know.
See, like it made sense for my mom, like when she got confused on which system we had, because it was like, I won that PS2, but my brother played that, and then I had the GameCube, and then it was like, so if there was games that were on both, it's like, which one is it?
One with the little disc.
The
but-
Play
but
Cube.
She got
the Play Cube.
really good at being like, oh, Connor plays mostly Nintendo, so she could just be like, which one's the Nintendo?
Makes sense.
Fucking, nowadays, she'd probably have a hard time selecting a console or things for a console for you because you're going back and forth all the fucking time.
Yeah, right.
But that's good. Though. It means
It's
he
like-
has everything.
You've gone back and forth between like Xbox One and PS4 twice this year. Well,
Oh,
not
yeah.
this year, but
Yeah.
in the past 365 days.
Well, yeah, there's a contingency with the PS4 bit too, because it's like, it was like Andrew wanted that, and then, like it was all that. It was all that, like, it was convoluted. I'll probably end up getting a PS4 for cheap. Like, the biggest reason I got rid of the PS4 was because it didn't fucking work. It like, it
Sorry, Brandon.
I don't know what happened between the transaction from like literally I played.
It was Brandon's
Yeah, that
PS4.
white-
Yeah, he was
PS4?
telling me that, and it was weird because it's like, it like, did he tell you how it happens? Like, it could be instant, like you turn up the console and it's like, oh, the controller disconnected, and you turn it off, or it could be 5 hours.
all day.
I gave you the red controller, right?
Yeah.
I gave.
And
okay.
it wasn't the controller, because we used my
Yeah.
brand new gold controller with it,
Perfect.
and it still fucking did it. And it still did it when it's connected via USB.
Okay, so I am going to not put any blame on anybody, but like I had that PlayStation since it was released. The Destiny
it was,
2014. It was perfect. I never had one problem all the way until last year when I sold it to you, and there was still no problems with it. I just wanted a gold one.
I messaged you
I
like
know.
a week later,
I was
less
like-
than a week. I'm like, hey, dude, this
And I
is
was
having
like, what
issues.
the fuck? I don't know what's going on. I never had that issue. That's weird. And I'm
It was like once you handed it to me, the PlayStation is
It's
like,
like,
I don't like this.
"No!"
I don't like this.
I want my
You have death
boy.
hands.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I'm just holding the controller and it feels like my hands are
Dude,
clammy or something.
forgot
It's
Probably
just
is.
like
All my
ugh.
PlayStations work perfect. I have all 4, and they all are phenomenal. But
Nice.
I know if I handed any one to anybody, it would probably fuck up.
In my head now, it's just a little your PlayStation or anime women, and
What's wrong with my
they're
anime
leaving.
women?
No, there's nothing wrong, but when they're with you, they're like, we have to work for Senpai, and then you gave it to me, and they're just like, no.
I think the best thing about all
You
this
replaced
though,
us with gold.
the whole story is it worked when I turned it into GameStop. So there were no issues. And it was funny because I didn't want to sell it on like OfferUp or something. I was like, I don't want to sell it to like some
A
kid
person?
or a person. It's like, but I'll do it to GameStop, and when someone returns it, they'll send it to go fix it. But
Yeah.
Poor PlayStation.
That's true. That's legitimately true. They
totally
will
fine.
fix it.
My poor
Yeah.
PlayStation.
At least
That
it's
was
getting
my
fixed.
first PS4.
I
Me
cleaned
too.
It. If it makes you
Yeah.
happy, I did clean it before I turned it in because they wanted to deduct $40 for some dust.
Okay, well, if there's any dust, that was Andrew. I cleaned the fuck out of that thing.
Oh yeah, no, dust was me. But
It,
like,
it had some solid dust bunnies in it, like big chunks.
I don't know why.
It absorbs it in the sides. That's why they made the slim model more ergonomical.
Oh, okay.
They changed the way the vents work. Yeah. But the old PS4 was a magnet for
Yeah.
dust.
They also made the
that makes
vents.
sense.
They also made the vents properly sized so that
Was that the?
bugs
La
and shit.
cucarachas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that the roach one?
The original PlayStation 4, has a
Yeah.
roach problem.
Yeah. Well,
because-
so does the Xbox One. We
Oh, so
got
both
a-
of them,
got a
okay.
lot, yeah.
Oh wow.
I
We
forgot.
more Xbox Ones, to be honest. Like more roaches are in Xbox.
I would
Ones.
imagine because it's got a bigger grill,
Right.
and it's just got that. But I also am surprised that there's not, the fan that's right there. It's a giant death fan that I would
Dude,
imagine.
They're roaches. And also, I have never seen as many roaches in my life before working at GameStop. Like, I swear,
That's
sometimes,
terrible.
yeah, sometimes you'll find like a bag with a console in it. It's like, what's wrong with this console? There's roaches.
Oh, there's roaches.
What the fuck?
Someone traded it in. It has roaches. What the fuck?
That was the first store I worked at.
That's every
off
store.
of University. Well, I didn't see any roaches at Terra Vista.
Just open it up.
Dude,
There's a
at
bunch of
Victoria
like, mostly
Gardens-
smoked blunts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. When Victoria
speaking
Gardens,
about
I had to go in.
blunts,
They're having a conversation.
I
Hold
know,
on,
go
man.
ahead. We might pull this back in. Go ahead and finish.
When I
your
worked
bit.
at Victoria Gardens, Karina hated roaches so much that I had to go in like 2-3 hours early before my shift just to help her clean the roaches.
At
Wow.
least-
Yeah, the back room.
Was
Gross.
it
It was gross.
was it with Karina or Kira that they found the mold in our
Yeah,
ceiling?
that was kind
Oh,
of the
I
transitional
thought you meant in a
period.
console. I was like, oh fuck.
That was the transitional period where Karina was like, I don't want to deal with it. And Kira's like, I don't know.
I was gonna say I didn't know mold
Okay.
could grow on silicon.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
were both just okay. So we were there, and I remember my boss Victor at the time. He goes, "You don't want to know what's up there, right?" And I'm like, "Okay," because all of us for like a good week or so, every time we go into work, and if we're working, 4, 5, 6 hours, 8
Smell
hours like them,
like
they would get
mildew.
we would get dizzy
Well, it
after
just
a little
smells
while.
like, it smelled
and
like
it would smell
mildew.
bad too. So I remember at one point I had to go up there to change the lights, and I pop it up, and I look in there, and I'm just like, Kira.
This is the best asbestos.
Yeah, and I'm like, Kira, there's
The asbestos.
black mold
Ooh, that
on
can give
all of these.
Fuck.
That can give you brain tumors.
Yeah. So that's the
Oh,
reason
that
why
would
I'm
explain
stupid.
it. Yeah, that makes sense.
What is
So when the doctors find the tumors, I can sue GameStop.
Yeah.
Get the money.
What were you
With
saying
the
about
money.
blunts, Connor?
Oh,
'Cause they're
so
roaches.
It was just a random
No,
bit.
I made the joke.
know.
There was Vitas, the Russian singer, fucking
Vitas, yeah.
his Seventh Element. I could just throw his music on.
Da.
He has a new song that he came out with. I haven't listened to the whole song, but I saw a clip and Snoop Dogg was in the front of the
Okay.
crowd.
I was like, what the fuck does this have to do with blunts?
Yeah, Snoop
I've
Dogg
seen it.
was there watching it,
That's cool.
so it was pretty cool. We've got about a minute left until break time, so if you wanna give your
Oh yeah, we do a
spiel,
5 minute.
go ahead and give the spiel for the second hour.
Sure. So in the second hour, here is what is lined up. We're going to be talking to Faye Mata. Granted, if she remembers to call in, I don't. No, it could happen. She could forget, or her manager can be like, "No, don't." We're also going to be playing a game.
What?
What?
This is
Yeah,
new.
we're gonna be playing video game Jeopardy. I will be the host. These three
Oh,
guys
okay.
will be
The
the
Jeopardizers?
contestants,
Uh-huh.
and we will go ahead and see how you guys will do
Are you gonna have the screen up there? Or
on
does it-
here, my side. Yeah, so I'm in the second
gonna have
half.
to
I'm gonna
move.
have to move, but it's okay. We'll
So-
switch headphones.
Well, I could take these over there.
Oh, okay,
So is it like video game Jeopardy? Like the questions are
all video game
related?
related.
Ah, Okay, I like that.
Uh,
Nifty.
I like
Will
it.
hopefully
All right,
be
so
fun.
that is in the second half. Join us then.
Or don't.
And
Your
let's
choice.
do this.
Oh god.
When the normal BS just won't do. ChaoticRadio.com.
Welcome back. Like, this is not.
We're sticking with the memes. It's an old meme, but it checks out.
I'm
sir.
like, if you're gonna stick with the memes, can you please just play Pineapple Pen?
I've never actually heard that meme, and I've heard it's annoying as shit.
Well then, oh, this is Tunic.
Yeah.
Just play Pineapple Pen then. Now, if we're doing that, if we're going hard on the memes,
So let's do He-Man.
There we go. Yeah, this was
I don't think Brandon's mic's on.
sweet. Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
I love this one.
Yeah, right. Why did Miguel change seats?
Because so he can't see the Jeopardy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay, I'll just sit
Okay,
straight this
we're
whole
done with
time.
the meme
Man,
song.
you can just play that song the whole show. I love
Forever. They do have a 10-hour version.
Really though, I mean, is the original meme you Rick Astley, right?
Huh?
Never gonna give you up.
That's
That's
just a
nonsense.
troll.
Oh,
That's
you're
I
not-
talking
mean,
about
song, I guess.
The song itself.
The first meme is credited as Dancing Baby back in the late 90s.
That makes sense.
It was like
What is
it was
this?
like a 3D Dancing Baby.
What
from
is
Titan
playing?
Until This is the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon thing.
Hell
This is the
yeah.
whole OST. So I'm
We
just
were
having it
talking
play.
about that.
I see.
I just turned it on so we have something going
Thank
on.
you.
while
I
we're
was going to
speaking.
recommend Near Automata music, but that's a little too depressing.
I'm gonna be getting that.
You're a little too
I'm
depressing.
getting that from
Good.
GameFly.
I'm playing
It's
it
on
again.
its way.
I'm
Well,
almost done with, like, my
actually,
10th playthrough.
Either getting that or Cars 3 Driven to Win.
Nah, you can either get a perfect game or Cars 3.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make a joke. Like you could either get a perfect game
I
or
can't
Nier
make,
Automata.
dude. I can't. I try to make jokes, but that game is just beyond
Okay,
perfect.
so can you will you play some music from this anime?
I mean, come on, dude. This
Animu? Which one?
Well,
This is
it's
Cult of Time.
featuring the guest we're gonna be having on.
it's true, but maybe she likes Blood Dragon.
I think Occultic 9's songs were pretty good.
It's a cultic night.
Yeah.
It was what was it? Spring of last year anime?
Oh, look, it popped up.
I don't remember
Look at
exactly when it was.
If it has an OST, let's
Yeah, I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say OST.
I like.
It wasn't
old
bad.
Oh,
anime.
no.
But I haven't. Well, never mind.
It
I
has, do they
haven't
have
watched
like
it.
just a
I never heard of
whole thing? Nope, they don't. They just-
Okay, here we go. She was in for games. She was in Super Dimension Neptune versus Sega Hard Girls.
Nice.
I know of that game.
Yeah, the Neptuna girls, the one that everyone looks at me weird every time I look at it.
She's probably listening right now and like, you noobs.
I'm like, yeah, I'm very much like, because it's not that I dislike anime. I just don't really watch it.
Oh, okay,
watch it a
fine.
lot.
Just put up Hunter x Hunter.
No, you can put on Mob Psycho.
Mob
I mean,
Psycho.
it's
Okay,
my
yeah, the
favorite.
intro to Mob Psycho. Well,
Yeah, the theme song is
it might be too.
just the
active.
background. We're just having something in the background. I think we're thinking
Why are
way
we
too hard about this.
way too much effort.
That's okay. That's fair. Just pick something, and we're having a call in right now. So
Oh,
we
yes,
are?
we are.
Nice.
Let me go ahead and make sure it's her.
Let me finish doing this before we get there.
God, why now?
Well, because I don't know. Shut up.
I don't know. Shut up.
Goodness gracious! All right, so we're gonna be being joined by Faye fairly quickly here, I think. And this is gonna be fun.
You're
hopefully.
gonna be fun.
I'm gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Hi. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very.
Guys, I don't know who's all there.
All right,
Yeah,
perfect. I'm Andrew. I'm the one who set this up. I'm the host. We also have Brandon Miguel sitting here with me, and our engineer back there, Connor, who answered the phone.
But she doesn't know our voices because you just kind of pointed out.
Oh, that's fair. There's Brandon,
Hello.
That was Brandon.
Miguel.
This is me.
Connor.
And yeah, she heard me answer the phone.
Okay.
We're very professional
Andrew,
here.
Connor, Miguel, Brandon.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Don't worry
I'm
about
Faye. Faye Mata.
Very nice. for
Nice to
having me.
meet you.
Nice to meet you. So,
Thank you too.
so the first question I'd like to ask guests is, how did you get into voice acting, or how do they, get into the profession that they do? How did you get into it? Was it just like an interest you had for a long time? Was it something that was kind of hard to break into. Tell us your story if there is one.
Okay, sweet. I wasn't sure if you wanted to interview me about voice acting or gaming, but whatever.
Both?
Okay, both. Yeah, cool. So voice acting for me was something that I have been interested in since I was really little. But the thing is that I didn't really know it at the time, or rather, I didn't know that it was a profession. Way back then, it was just like, that's something that I do because I have 3 younger siblings. And what I would do was I would play video games that just had, sometimes it was like a portrait and then just text.
Right.
And I liked getting them, or they liked following along with me, so I would read the text to them out loud in different voices. And so that's how the interest started. Professionally, I don't know. So if you want to count professional as like I got paid, then I started doing it back in like newgrounds.com days, where I would help people with their like Flash animations and Flash games, like indie stuff, and that was a lot of fun. And then I broke through with anime through Bang Zoom by doing their open auditions. It was like a contest at Anime Expo.
Nice.
And yeah, God, what year was that? What year is it now?
You're right.
Yeah, and I recently joined Abrams
Whoa.
Artist Agency, and yeah, getting an agent was huge for me. I love them so far. Dean Pinero is wonderful. I think he actually connected us.
Yeah, I contacted Dean to get you onto the show. So I like Dean also.
I love Dean so much. He's wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, that's the very short version, I guess. So.
And kind of like
I don't know, but it's been awesome.
And
kind
you
of
work
a-
with Funimation, like you did Mob Psycho, correct?
Oh, I did some Mob Psycho, yeah.
That's awesome. It's
But
one
it
of my
was just
favorite
like
shows.
that was a small part in it.
Yeah, but
Who was that? Mari?
Yeah.
Something, and like one of the I think it was the episode where Mob sneaks in dressed as a girl, and or both of them do. Reagan and
Yeah.
Him and, I
Mob.
forget the other dude's name.
Yeah.
when going through your IMDb page, there's a lot of really big games, big animes, but the one thing that stuck out to me as just like I need to know more about this. Please tell me, what is Street Fighter High the musical?
People haven't actually asked me that before, except for back then. So that is actually a web short. Oh my gosh. Hold on, give me a sec to recall this. So that was a long time ago. It was produced and directed by Jennifer Zhang, but it was more of like a side project for YouTube. And let's see, Matt Mercer was in it as Dan. I was Buki. Jennifer herself was Juri. Mylin Sarli was Sakura. I don't know. It was so much fun. I don't know. It's like it was a side project that Jennifer really wanted to do. That was kind of like a parody of High School Musical, which was already a parody kind of just high school, and then taking Street Fighter and then putting those two things together. And I think it's all on YouTube, so you can find it. And
when you say it like
watch
that,
me be embarrassing.
when you say it like that, like High School Musical, like a parody of that, I think that's
Yeah.
funny. I think that makes it more interesting.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's already
It's
like
really
piqued your
silly.
interest.
All of it was just kind of for fun, and yeah, I don't know. It was a good time.
All right, so
Pretty good at sales.
I will. I'll
I love
ask
playing
you.
Ibuki.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we have a question from a listener and ex-coworker
You
of
have a
mine.
listener? Oh.
Yeah, we have at least one. No, Corey Smith
Okay.
wants to know what is the best remedy that you use when you wreck your voice during a recording session.
Definitely Papacoa.
What
I
was
think
it?
that's how you pronounce it. It's like this Chinese stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
They have it in like a syrup form and a candy form, but most studios carry it now. Actually, But it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's Chinese. I think it's like loquat and something, but it's like a sore throat syrup. And then other than that, like as much rest as I could possibly have, but let's be real, get that much rest. But I love it, so whatever.
All right.
Dumbfounded us with your insider info. We all looked
that's what
around
I
like,
do.
what did she say?
Right? All of us were just like, what is this
Yeah,
stuff?
It's like Ninjiom. I'm probably butchering this, so I'm so sorry to whoever knows how to actually pronounce this.
No, yeah, that
Ninjiom
company's actually listening right now.
K-Patoa.
So
But you can find like 3 packs on Amazon for a fair price, I'd say.
So looking
Happen
on
once in a
towards like some future projects, it says that you are in a show that will be coming out this year called The Has Been Hotel. Can you talk about that, or is it kind of hush
I can
hush
talk
still?
about that.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a few like oh god, so many things I'm really excited about. I'll tell you about Has Been Hotel though. That one is by Vivian. God, what is their full name? I should know.
Vivian Medrano.
Yes, Medrano. Yeah. So she is a very, very talented animator who has been working on this special project of hers for a long time, and it's finally coming to life. We've been working on it for, let's see, at least with the voice actors, the past quarter of a year, I guess. It's weird because it's like the beginning of this year and the end of last year.
Yeah.
But that is about a bunch of monsters in hell, and there's this one. Actually, I'm not sure how much is public already, but it's really cute. It's a really cute story about monsters in hell and this one character trying to get people to see the good in themselves, so they don't have to be miserable the whole time in hell. I don't know. It's really cute.
So it's like Wreck-It Ralph. It's like you're a bad guy. Yeah, you're a bad guy, but not a bad guy.
Oh, literally the
Jesus.
character Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant the movie.
Well, he says that
Well-
in the movie.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Hold up.
No, the
Just like
bad
the
guy
concept.
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, were
Right.
you listening at all?
No, I probably butchered that too.
What can you tell
definitely
us?
Look it up. I think we're working on a trailer right now. So
What can you tell us about your character, Katie Killjoy?
sure. So she is an evil news anchor lady.
What?
Well, I don't know if she's evil. I mean, technically they're all kind of evil,
I mean, you're in hell, right?
but
So
she's kind of a bitch.
Okay.
And I gave her like a really kind of like cliche news anchor lady voice.
Is there any
But
way
then
we
she
can
has
hear
some
it?
turns. Oh yeah, sure. So, this just in the Has Been Hotel.
Oh.
Oh, I thought we were all waiting. We were just like, what's in?
I don't know. I was prepared to
That
do
was
a line.
that was
sorry.
ad lib. You had us so
For
hooked.
Katie Killjoy.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil too much for that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll say some things that for things that have been released, and I can talk about some things that have been announced already but aren't out yet. So there's Be the Beginning. I'm really excited about. I don't know if that's even listed on the IMDb yet, but that is the first Netflix original, like actually original anime where Netflix what do you call it? Collaborated with an anime studio, IG Production,
ooh,
who made
Oh,
Ghost
shit.
in the Shell
yeah.
and other things. And it's like a really dark, really beautifully animated series that's coming out in March. Ugh, feels so far away.
That's really exciting.
I was worried
It's
when you said
really exciting.
no.
was that?
I was worried when you said a Netflix produced original anime.
Hey, I mean, they
and
did
then
a
you said
really good
IG
job
production, and I was like, oh shit.
No, Devilman Crybaby was really good. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, but this is the first like exclusive to Netflix anime, I believe.
That's
Uh-huh.
awesome. And it's the good Ghost in the Shell
Yeah.
that IG did too, so that's a good one.
All right,
Awesome.
so I
But
know
yeah,
I kn-
I'm a lead in that, along with like, oh my god, there's such a great cast in it. I don't know if you follow voice actors at all, but like Ray Chase. is in it.
I
He's
do
amazing.
some. You know, it's Yeah, to be quite honest, I know your work. Like I know of you originally because of Lulu, and I'm pretty sure that's.
Oh, because of Lulu. Uh-huh.
I used to be really big into League, and I'm.
She's like, oh, what a surprise.
Oh, what a surprise! I haven't heard that one before. But other than that, I know some of the big names. So no, but
Yeah, everybody
I'm
knows.
looking forward to the
No, it's
project. Yeah.
fine. Oh my gosh, I love Lulu. That character means so much to me. Because I did play League of Legends before I got Lulu too, so I was totally nerding out in the booth.
That's
And
incredible.
when they said we're gonna do some laughs now, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I've played this game before, so I'm gonna make it both adorable and enraging at the same time.
And
So hopefully I pulled that off.
that's exactly how
Uh,
people feel too, playing against Lulu.
Yeah, except it backfires on me when I actually have to play against the Lulu and Sammy laugh at me. I'm like, hey, you can't do that to me. That's me.
So I
That's
know we
great.
don't have like a ton of time with you, so I just have a few more questions. Really quickly, how did you get the role of Lulu in League of Legends? Because Riot, that's a big company, it's a huge game. So how did you actually get that role?
Just auditions, honestly.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew, you could have been Lulu.
Back then they did it through Bang Zoom,
Uh-huh.
and so yeah, it's just auditions go out. And I know it's not that glamorous. Sorry,
No,
not a
that
glamorous story. I mean,
it's-
but I was super excited, and I saw it because I knew exactly what that game was.
So, going into, we are, the kind of gaming show. I know that you were a professional gamer. You played in Evo and different things along those lines. What games did you play professionally?
Sure. So let's see, it was like 2006 or so until I think I stopped playing 2 years ago. But my most recent game I competed in was Pokken Tournament. I entered Evo in 2016, and I got like 33rd out of 1,200 entrants. in that.
Nice.
And then I did Pokemon Worlds as well, and there were tournaments in every region, I guess. So there was like an NA one and European one, Asian one, and then the top players of those get to move on to be part of Pokemon Worlds. And for the original NA one, I got like just off the cutoff or past the cutoff. I didn't make it rather.
Ah.
But at the actual Pokemon Worlds before the tournament, there was something called the LCQ, which is the last chance qualifier. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could go to that and still make it in by doing the last chance qualifier. So I fought my way through that and ended up having to play someone in my own region to make it into the actual Pokemon Worlds. And I got 17th. I think.
Nice.
That was huge for me.
That's awesome.
But that was a really exciting trip. But the whole like roller coaster of, failing to get in, but oh my god, there's another chance, and then succeeding, but going through the drama of like, oh no, I have to fight someone from my own region instead of like someone I don't know from Asia or.
I think that's
Or
so much
Europe.
more exciting though, because it's like you were almost
Really.
there, and then you're like, oh cool, I get another chance, and boom, you make it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's super cool.
Sorry, that was more than you asked for, but that's Pokken Tournament. I also played quite a bit of Smash, and Pokemon and Dancey Rhythm games. A lot of Nintendo. I grew up a big Nintendo
I've been
fan.
thinking about Dance Dance Revolution a lot.
I
lately.
did win 2 like League of Legends tournaments with a pre-made team, but those were like really small, so
Mhm.
I don't usually mention those because it's like tiny.
Yeah, there's this like trivia thing on your IMDb page about like you crashed a Smash tournament while you were on a job doing voice acting or something.
Oh, oh yeah. So, so before I did all the voiceover and everything like that, I've always been a fan of like anime and video games. I just grew up a huge nerd. So, conventions were a thing that I did. So I would go to conventions normally as an attendee, and it's actually not uncommon now. A lot of voice actors are like this because they grew up with all this. But something I always liked to do at conventions was enter the gaming tournaments if I played the game.
Mhm.
And despite being on panels or like, I'm a convention guest, that I didn't want to I guess I was still so excited to try to enter those tournaments. And I remember this one time, I think it was Northwest Fan Fest. I had a handler with me because they have to be with you at all times when you're a guest, because they are accountable for you, and if anything happens to you, it's on them, that sort of thing.
Yeah. That's
So I
kinda
kind
funny,
of feel
so
like
you
an
can-
asshole in retrospect, but
Yeah, you can do whatever you
Like-
want because it's on the other person.
yeah. No, so I sat down and I played Smash in the game room, and then I just remember like one of the attendees was like looking down at their pamphlet of the well, my picture was in there, and they looked back up at me and they're like, aren't you this girl?
Kind of
That's
also
funny.
staying back in time. You were on a show called WCG Ultimate Gamer on Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us? I mean, kind of broadly about your experience on that?
Sure. So this is a gaming reality TV show that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and every episode was based off of a type of game or game genre. So there would be like racing, fighting game, shooter. So for example, one of the episodes was Battlefield based. So there's always like a real life challenge, and then the actual gaming challenge, and then an elimination round. So the real life challenge was paintball.
Oh, that's awesome.
We broke up into teams and then just shot each other up, and that was so much fun. And then we get ranked top to, just stack ranked, I guess, based off of our score. And then we would play the actual game. So we ended up playing Battlefield, and then again got stack ranked. And then the person with the cumulative top score got to pick who of anyone in the house. We were all in a house, by the way. Had to challenge the person that's in last place. So no matter what, the person that was in last place was up for elimination, and then the person in first place was safe and got to choose who gets to fight against the person in last. And that's what that show was about. It was so much fun.
That's really cool.
Like all, oh yeah, oh my god, it's so much fun. And it was before its time. I swear, like if it was like a show like that was released around, I don't know, in today's world, it would do pretty well. But it was kind of a curious, very niche thing at the time.
Well, Sci-Fi also had like
somebody
the
tried
Heroes of Cosplay.
Oh yeah.
That's why I found a lot of
Yeah.
cosplayers through that. Or then Face Off was really big.
Face
too,
Off was
so
great.
Face Off was really
I
good.
love Sci-Fi.
So in our chat, we had someone say, Robert said, "Miss Faye, can you say that tasted purple, please? I love Lulu so much."
Yep, that tasted purple.
That's great. I think that's Brenda.
I can do some other voices too if you want.
Oh,
This is-
I would love that. Is there any way? Because I know we don't have much that much time left with you. Is there any way that we can get you to do some voices for us?
Do a Buki.
Yeah,
You like a
sure.
Buki.
Pookie.
I like a Buki from Street Fighter.
Well, let's see. I'll do some of my best known ones. Most recently, Astolfo from Fate Apocrypha came out on Netflix. That's on Netflix, so you can check it out now.
Get into
But
that whole
Astolfo
Fate
sounds
series.
like this. He's a boy.
So funny. That's really, I need to watch that. one.
Daria from Shadowverse.
Oh yeah, we were looking at
Very
that.
flary. Mega Drive from the Sega Hard Girls.
It's like there's a soundboard going on.
Right? That's awesome.
Hey,
You gonna
Wow, the lab's so amazing.
You gonna
Astrid
do your
from
thing? Andrew?
Arena of Valor.
Well, wait, that one's really good. Do that one again.
Of course, she's a professional. Of course, it's good.
He's just really happy.
Let me try to actually think of one of her lines.
You're just like, wow.
Like that one stood out to me. I don't know why.
Astrid from Arena of Valor. I will protect you.
Oh, okay, you
That's
did come up with a
really
line.
cool. All right. So really,
Oh, Ilium from Maple Story. Kagami from Miraculous Ladybug.
Was that one just your voice?
Oh, yeah, I didn't actually do it. But she was just a lot more serious like this. But
Oh, okay.
Oh,
still kind
okay.
of a quiet teenager.
Before you go, we is there any way? So a lot of time when we have guests on, I'm like, oh, can you please say, oh, you're watching or you're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show on Chaotic Radio? Is there any way you can say that as Lulu for us so we can use it as a sound bite?
Like legally?
I think so. All right. Tell me exactly what you want me to say.
Oh,
You're listening.
you're listening to the
That Kinda
Kinda Gaming Show on chaoticradio.com.
You're listening to the Kinda Gaming Show on chaoticradio.com.
Nice.
Awesome.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.
Oh god, now I'm
Hey,
scared.
now we gotta laugh in there.
All right. Before you go, where can people follow you? Where can, like, if they want to keep up to date with you on news and all of your goings ons and
Sure.
all that, where can people find you?
I post most of my stuff on Twitter, which is at Princess Aura, AURA. And I've recently been trying to post some stuff on Instagram, which is at Princess_Aura, AURA. Although I've been posting a lot of like The Greatest Showman stuff lately because I'm obsessed with that movie.
I
just
love
thought-
musicals, and let me
Oh,
tell
it's
you.
so good.
I-
I saw Hamilton last.
Girl,
Oh,
you've seen Hamilton?
I know, right?
Oh my
I love
good.
it.
Oh man, I
I'm
don't.
going to Japan tomorrow.
There is
What?
a lot of the
I
Greatest
hate you
Showman on
now.
here.
By the way, I was a fan of
Actually-
yours, but you've seen Hamilton, so
Well, I gotta tell you about why I just thought of Japan though. So, I recently did a character named Eliza for Square Enix for a game, and during the session there was a localization guy from Square Enix there, and because we were like really, we had a lot more time left, so I started doing the Satisfied rap, and then they were just like we had just like burst out laughing. We had such a great time that by the end of the session, he was like, "Hey, if you're ever in Japan, you gotta visit Square Enix HQ." And
are
I was
you
like,
kidding?
don't say that because I'm totally going there for EVO in
Whoa.
January. But that's
so
totally
jealous.
happening. And I'm like, oh my god!
You
All
gotta
the
find
benefits of voice
everything
acting.
for
I
near.
love it.
You gotta find everything for near Automata and take pictures of it. This is my favorite game.
Oh my god! I'm gonna take so many pictures. I'm also going to the Fox Village. I'm so
Yeah, we'll be expecting you to load up your Instagram.
Yeah, please.
I'm going to the Final Destination.
Jesus Christ!
Fox
All right,
only.
all right, I'm kicking you off
Okay.
the show now. Get out of here! No,
Chelsea.
no. In all
Thanks
seriousness,
for having me,
thank you
guys.
so much for coming on and giving us just a couple minutes of your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, you've been
thank
great.
No
you.
It's
problem.
fantastic.
All right, thank you. You have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Nice.
Shit, you should have just let her go as long as she wanted to.
Yeah, well, I don't. No, she's great, right? I
But you
don't
only
know.
have, like,
I don't want to
20
get a
minutes with her?
message. I don't want a message. I asked for 15, and
Oh.
we were with her for 22, and I don't want to get a message from Dean. If you're still listening, Faye, this may be ridiculous, but I want to get a message from her manager and be like, "Hey, you went 8 minutes over.
You owe us 8 minutes.
You
of
owe
your
us,
time.
right? You know,
Lost your soul.
you know how glad I would be. I'm like,
I know,
wait,
right? Yes, please.
yeah,
I'll
please
take
wait.
it.
A manager wants 8 minutes of my time. Absolutely, I'll have her on for fucking 2 hours next week. All right, so that was really cool. She was really fun,
I wanna go to
and
Japan.
now
It's a lot
we
of fun.
now we have a Lulu snippet for our intro, which is really cool.
That was sick.
And she did the laugh and everything too. I wonder how she actually feels when she played. I know she kind of mentioned it, but like Lulu is kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, but she
if we're
said
just
she
being
loves
honest. Like
her.
she's playing against her, and like she's being a total dick. And
Yeah,
she's
she said that. She said she
I
did that on
know.
purpose.
I feel like I
she was
couldn't-
saying how it's like a double-edged
it's got to be
sword.
like a love hate thing. You're
Well-
like doing such a good job being an asshole.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to get mad at that character anymore because it's my own voice talking. It's like,
Dude, like, yeah.
I
as she,
can't
like-
put that, that person, like somebody else playing that character because it's like, oh, it's just me talking.
I would feel like I'd be like, God, I'm a dick.
she's got a voice that like now every time I hear it, like I'm gonna be like, oh hey, that's Fucking Faye Mata.
Exactly.
We had her on the show.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to point out, like, we had her on at the perfect time because she just got an agent. She's like, has these relationships with Square Enix and these other huge companies. In like 6 months, we can't get her on this show.
It's true.
Like, we got her at the perfect time. So thank you, Faye.
Yeah.
In 6 months, she's going to be like, who the fuck are those guys?
Yeah.
All right. So now we are going to be playing Video Game Jeopardy.
Wow.
Wow.
Fun.
All right. So I am going to go ahead and get this.
That's what we ought to put on our soundboard is some wows.
Wow.
Wow.
How do we? Because like we're just doing only the answers. We're not doing like the written down. Like here's the shit.
Yeah. So how it'll work is I will have the
He's our
the
Trebek.
questions here,
Yeah.
and we'll go in the line like the same way, right? So like let's say Brandon's first, he'll have an opportunity to answer, and then if he doesn't get it right, you two
ding.
can ding with your finger up.
I
Is the-
see.
Jeopardy theme or the thinking music, is that public domain?
I don't know, but that's only during when they do the written ones. So
Yeah.
like there's no you don't do the thinking music.
Well,
on every question.
we
Yeah,
can
I
do
know,
we
but-
can do this one of two ways. Do you guys want to do it that way, or do you guys just want to do it in the way where you can ding and I can just do it? I think we should just ding.
I think you should give the person the few seconds to answer it because that's how it works on there.
Okay, so like if Brandon gets a few seconds,
Yeah,
and if
'cause-
he doesn't get it, then either one, then it's free game.
Yeah, because
Wait. I don't know if you guys are talking about the same thing.
Huh?
Yeah,
Andrew,
he's saying
Andrew,
Andrew's saying we can go in turns. Like it would be my turn, so
Yeah.
I'd have a little bit. If I can't think of it, then you guys chime in.
but he's saying like we're not first to come, first served. It just starts at Brandon.
Those
for
are the
example.
two options, right? Those are the two options. Either
each
we
person
ding
chooses.
in.
Yeah, they get to choose the category.
Oh, and then whoever it's free for all.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. That's fine. All right, so here are the cacategories. You can pick, and then it's free for all if you know the answer.
How
Okay,
did-
sounds good.
wait.
So wait, hold
That's
on.
how it works, yeah.
How do they
Brandon-
normally determine first?
I'm just doing it for Brandon because he's
Okay.
on my leftmost. So Brandon, you're number one in terms of teams on my end. So in case I forget, Miguel, you're two. Connor, you're three. The categories are characters, villains, consoles, companies, and apps. Now, mind you, I don't know if this is any good, if the questions are good,
Are
but
the
we're gonna
answers
go.
on-
on.
Consoles for 800.
Can we see right now? Because that's so much.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can see it for right now.
I can't.
Well, you can.
Okay.
So each one of them has a 1 through 500 value on them, and we are going to
Go with companies for 500.
companies for 500.
Wait,
Mr. Big Dick swinging
Before
over
we
there.
go, it's
Oh.
consoles, characters, villains.
Okay, so in line from left to
Oh,
right, it's
jeez.
characters, villains, consoles, companies, and apps.
Okay.
And I have
I
no
feel like
idea.
we should have had.
I'm just spacing out so I
guys-
can at least see here.
Oh, well, this is where we're at. So we're going now. I paid companies for 500.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
I feel like we should have had Connor
Do this.
being Trebek instead.
You
Nah,
guys are
well.
talking and thinking about this way too much.
Let's
Okay,
do it.
go for it. Read it.
Oh God, no! You know I'm picking a different one
Why?
No, what?
because 500 is always like the hardest one,
That's the
right?
point.
So what?
But it was like, who makes Final Fantasy?
Oh, was it really? Well,
Wait.
so what?
Like Square Enix?
Yeah, which
Or
is
it was Square
do we-
at
we
the
have-
time?
What is Square Enix?
Or which
Okay,
is-
you
Did
know, I'm
say
just
that
gonna-
was the wait. Was that it?
That was the hardest question. Yeah, it was Square Enix. That's why I switched. It's fine. I'm just gonna go with this one. I swear. So it's fine. Okay. So you can go ahead and write this down, Connor.
Yeah.
Console facts, expense/rating, random games, player age, and miscellaneous.
What the fuck?
Okay, so this one I'm just gonna go with. I don't care because the other one just rubbed me the wrong way. All right. So which one do you want and for how much, Brandon?
We can just turn the screen. There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go with console facts.
Console facts for how much?
300.
300. What console was the first system to have graphics capability better than that of the leading edge personal computer at the time of its release? Xbox 360,
Oh,
PlayStation 2,
Ding, ding,
Nintendo.
Ding, ding, ding. PlayStation 2.
Okay, so there's a rule in Jeopardy.
If it's wrong,
This
you
isn't
go
real
do-do-do.
Jeopardy. I
No,
said
there's no.
PlayStation 2.
I know, but you have to say what is PlayStation 2.
No, I'm not. I don't care.
Then you're not
Is
gonna
it-
get any
is it
points,
right?
bruh.
Is it PlayStation 2?
Wait.
Yeah.
What is
Ding.
PlayStation 2?
I'm gonna do this the entire time.
So you're just
Then
gonna
you're
end up
just
with
gonna
negative
lose.
points.
I don't give a shit. You took too long describing it that I don't care anymore. So PlayStation 2, I got it right. Let's go. Miguel,
Do you have ADD?
No, but I don't have a lot of patience.
Was he?
That sounds like ADD.
No, that's an
All
actual
right,
disorder.
fine, whatever.
Anyway.
Connor, or I mean Miguel.
Wait, what? I thought it was Connor now. He got an answer.
No,
No,
I got the answer.
He got the answer. I don't want to. I'm just gonna.
What? It's a game. Who gives a fuck?
exactly.
Exactly.
It's a game. Who gives a fuck?
So give
It's
Connor the
Miguel.
points
Oh.
and just go from Connor. Connor, choose a category. Play Jeopardy.
I get. Jesus Christ.
This is turning to shit in a handbasket.
Yeah.
What? What the fuck?
Just-
it has been about 10 minutes since we said we're going to play Jeopardy, and we
It's been
barely
about
got to
5.
the second.
Who
thing.
gives a
Random
shit?
games for
Exactly.
500.
Random games? Oh, yeah, that was one. What the fuck?
That one's not working. 400.
Random games 400.
Did you know Blank sold 6.5 million copies in its first 24 hours, making it the biggest.
Ding.
What he?
I had my finger
Oh.
up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
he-
you got to say something. I don't know if you're dinging
Well, but
it. You're
it's him
behind me.
first.
Yeah, it's him first
Oh,
since it's
okay.
his question. All right, what is it?
What is Halo?
Now you can ding.
Wait, it gives you options to choose from?
Yeah, I'm ignoring
This
that
isn't
part.
see, this isn't Jeopardy.
It is actual
No.
Jeopardy. I'm just ignoring that part.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
No, but
so
they don't
what it-
give multiple choice.
No, they
give
don't. That's
multiple
why.
But
choice.
that's because you're supposed to be able to study it before
Yeah,
in
exactly.
real Jeopardy.
This is video game stuff.
All
I
right,
know
so
this
what
shit.
you dinged? What is it?
Good point.
Well, I didn't know there were options, so it's going to be wrong. Because I
It-
know Grand Theft Auto 5 is the highest grossing.
No, but on its
game.
first day.
Yeah, in 24 hours, it's the highest grossing in history.
So what is Grand Theft Auto?
It's for Grand Theft Auto 5, but it's not on the list because I can see that's Modern Warfare 3 right
Oh.
there.
Bum, bum, bum.
Ah! This is a bad idea.
Yep.
You're a bad idea.
All right,
You were
I'm
a
done
bad
with this now.
Okay.
We're over
It's-
it.
Damn it.
It's we either got to be over it or Connor has to be Trebek
Why?
because
just
we
too
can
much
see the answers
inconsistencies.
over here.
Don't be a cheaty face, Brandon.
I can't help it.
Wait.
No,
I
the,
can't
the
help.
thing was that I saw that there were multiple choices, so my answer would have been wrong because apparently it's not the right year. It's not like current.
Well, also, it's just more convenient for you because then you can put like the for you to be Trebek because you could put like the thing on the stream, and we could see the categories or whatever.
It's just too
Or send
difficult
it-
with us spaced out the way we
I
are.
can't do that.
Or you could that message thing you guys have to message between yourselves on text. You could put the categories on here, and we could all look at it without being able to see the real board.
It's true.
We're
Anyway,
still on the air, correct?
Yeah, no, we're still
We're
on the
still
air for
there.
like another 20 minutes.
So we shouldn't be like arguing and discussing the stupid shit. We're on the
This is
radio.
all the
Why
silly
not?
shit. This is the discussion of fucking up game night.
Brandon's so done. He moved his microphone. He's like, I'm done with this.
All right, so what y'all been playing? Because I've been playing the shit out of Stardew Valley. Like I finally really got into it.
of course.
And because I mentioned how like I put it on my list last year, and it was the number 5 because I didn't really get a whole lot of time with it. I was able to just see I know I will like this. I sat down and I started to play it, and I was like, oh shit, it's time to pick Brenda up from work, and like, oh shit, it's 5 a.m. and oh shit, I gotta do other things. Like, it's very good. I really like it. It's like it's quickly just becoming a really like fun favorite game going on.
It's your current go-to.
Yeah, like right now it's like because it's on. I have it on Switch, so there's sometimes like there's been points where I've been like, okay, I got to take my Switch with me. Like I'm still playing. Like, oh, I'll bring it. Right now I'm like, I really need to take my Switch with me. Like I need to put it in my pockets. And I like when we went to the Raising Cane's thing this morning, which to those who are listening,
I tried
there
that.
was the Raising Cane's opened up in San Bernardino, so it was like the grand opening. Got a free shirt and like a free meal. Tried to win free chicken for a year, didn't get it. Guy right next to us did, so that was kind of neat. But,
Damn,
like,
so maybe if I'd gone, was he in front of you or behind you?
he was literally 2 people in front of me.
Oh, never mind then.
He's right there. Well, I mean, it was random draw. They put the coupons in the thing and scooped it out. You know.
Yeah, but if it happened to be the last person behind you, if I had
Oh,
gotten
yeah.
that number instead, if I'd gone.
Yeah,
But no.
well, it was you write your name and phone number and put it in a box is what it was. So that's how it ended up working. But
Oh, it wasn't
It-
a number.
yeah, it wasn't a coupon
a
ticket.
lotto or a raffle ticket, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I brought my Switch like so that I would be able to play it and as well as the Gunhouse game. So, but yeah. Oh, she's all this here. Let's see. She's level 6. Lulu. Oh, so,
I'll take Is She a Thought for 500
oh God.
is what the chat says in terms of Jeopardy.
What is it? What was the answer? What is yes?
What is yes?
Yeah.
What it do?
What it do? So I've been playing Fortnite. Just had a big update.
Battle Royale or the
Battle
the
Royale.
okay.
They don't give a shit about
No one
PvE.
plays the PvE anymore.
I mean, they updated, but like they added another map for the Battle Royale.
Oh, cool.
So different locales, different ways to do things. Pretty cool. Been playing that. Been playing more MLB 17, the show. Like fucking always.
You know, one thing I gotta say about Fortnite, it's really funny. I got a buddy who was really super into it. Like, he pre-ordered it and had like the bundle and all that cool shit. And he really enjoyed the PvE. And then like none of us were super into it. And then the game blew up with the fucking Battle Royale variant.
Mhm.
And he's not super into the Battle Royale variant, and no one plays or talks about the PvE anymore. And he's like, it's not even the same game anymore. And he's all sad about it. It was like, oh, that's a bummer. He's
That's
like,
funny.
no one wants to play PvE. I don't
Yeah.
really care for Battle Royale.
Epic Games like that. Fortnite is becoming so big that they're taking devs off of Paragon and putting them on.
loves
Good, 'cause
Paragon, too.
Paragon sucks.
Yeah,
It's
they're just
really
like
fucking bad.
they're taking devs off of the Paragon team and putting them onto the Fortnite team
Uh-huh.
because it's doing so well.
Yeah, it's really
Can't blame
funny.
'em.
Yeah, like, it's really funny how it ended up becoming so big too, because they were like, that looks like a good game that's doing really well, like with PUBG, and then they're like, we could do that.
You know
in this shit.
You know what's weird is when it was like announced and shit, people were like, "Oh shit, that looks great," and then it like wasn't.
Oh, you're
And then
talking
Battle Royale happened. Fortnite,
about
sorry.
the PvE of it.
Yeah,
I had no idea there was a PVE version of Fortnite.
Yeah, that's
until,
what it
like,
was
this week.
before it like really launched. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all it was.
It was kind of like a tower defense first-person shooter, or not first-person, but the third-person shooter. But
Yeah.
yeah, tower
It was
defense
like
third-person
Sanctum.
shooter thing. I haven't played Sanctum,
Sure.
so I don't know.
Oh, do you
knows?
guys not know what Sanctum? Sanctum is it's a third-person shooting tower defense game, literally, where
There you go.
it's kind of or Orcs Must Die.
okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot like that.
Sanctum came out before Orcs Must
I
Die.
didn't know though.
I of course I would know. I'm the niche indie guy
Yeah.
over here. So
I'm still waiting for Bayonetta 3. Just playing Nier Automata over and over again, just waiting for another platinum game.
Bayonetta 2 and 1 come out on Switch.
Yeah,
next
yeah,
month.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But 2 sucks, and I played 1 a lot.
What if 3 sucks? Because if you didn't like 2,
It's new. That's what matters.
Was,
I played through 2 and I was excited, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'll play the first one again because it's better.
Was there a dev change situation between them, like
Well,
Platinum
Nintendo
did?
It
became
was just
the producer.
Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo
publisher.
being acquired by Nintendo kind of changed the. I feel had a big influence on the
Uh-huh.
direction.
Oh,
The story I felt was not very good. I mean, it's hard to follow up with number 1 because it is a standalone title. It doesn't need a sequel. So I felt like the second one was really trying really hard at something that they did not have to do at all.
so
They
it
have
sounds
some
like they
dumb
could have benefited
characters,
from
too.
just being another standalone story with
Exactly.
Bayonetta.
It could have, but because like the first one was you're a witch, half witch, half sage, and it was like forbidden for them to marry, so you were
Uh-huh.
very unique. And so angels sent from God are trying to kill you.
Right.
So you're fighting
It
angels.
reminds me of Saga.
And okay, well anyway, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's a comic series by Brian K.
Oh. But you're fighting angels, and the angels' designs are phenomenal,
Mhm.
and the voices are actually historically accurate to like an angelic language.
Yeah.
So it's extremely good and unique. It's funny in all the right places, and it has some of the best gameplay I've ever felt. And number 2, it's like gameplay's the same. Great, Platinum did it,
Mhm.
but the character designs, like there's one kid who has like a beanie and like baggy clothes and like this big upside down pyramid necklace who's really fucking annoying, and he's like your
Mhm.
companion the whole game. This sucks. And then her design, I don't feel like worked because the whole point is that her hair is her power.
Yeah.
That's Connor's gripe with it.
Yeah,
too.
and then let's cut her hair. So, well, the whole point was that it goes like all the way down to her feet. It's wrapped
Uh-huh.
around her body. It's her weapon.
I feel like I understand what is the word continuity wise why that doesn't make sense.
There's
But
a lot of things like that.
But
but
she
like
still uses,
I think she looks better
she
with
still
short
uses
hair.
Oh, yeah.
it the same way though.
Yeah, she still uses everything the same way. Like I said, the gameplay is fine because Platinum is just doing what they always do.
Us being not
But the
invested in the
story-
character.
Yeah, the story and the atmosphere and the environment is not.
I really
anywhere close
I
as
really
good.
enjoyed the first Bayonetta.
Exactly, the
Like it
first
was
one
really
is
good,
amazing.
but I haven't
But you
played the
didn't play
second.
the
I didn't
second
play the
one,
second one, but like I would not have an issue with her hair being shorter.
Yeah,
no,
I
that's
think
not
she
a big
looks
deal. That was
design-wise
just like a
lot
little
better.
Little
tidbit.
add on.
Yeah, the big thing, like when that kid came on and wouldn't leave, that's when I was like, okay, you destroyed like the entire environment
kind
The six
of
person.
kind of makes sense that you wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if the kid's legitimately annoying or not, but it kind of makes sense that you wouldn't like that based on like past experiences you've said with side characters that are always with you. You
Well,
don't usually like that.
I don't mind side character like Nier Automata. Like talk about that one in 9S. Like I don't care for his character, but I love that he's there because he has such a huge impact on the story.
What
Like,
up?
I don't really care for him
In
as
the
a person.
chat,
But
we've got long hair women is, and then hearts faces, and then short haired Bayo made me want a KMS.
yeah,
Is that all Brenda?
Yeah.
but I don't know. It just didn't. Bayonetta 2 just didn't hold up. Like it wasn't as memorable at all. The line there wasn't like those quick snappy one-liners or big events in the game that really made it stand out.
So you just want Bayonetta to be made by Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So there's a
No.
bunch of quips and action.
No. If Square Enix did it, I know it would be good because again, Nier is perfect.
Perfection.
It's near perfect.
I was so kind of talking about games of the year, perfect games or whatever. I was watching the Escapists top 5 games of the year. Who Yahtzee, great reviewer. I think he's really. I showed you one of his reviews while we were at work one time. He does stick figures and does really funny,
I've
stupid
watched him
shit.
before you too because he does stuff about Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Ah, well,
100%.
that's
Do
okay.
Not like this man.
That's okay. We all have
I know. It's fine.
opinions,
Go
but
ahead.
he was doing his top 5 games, and like I think Nier was 2 or 3. I'm like, oh, what's? I swear the whole time I was like, I swear to God, if number 1 is PUBG on your list, and he was like number 1, Resident Evil 7. I'm like, yes, someone else is on the same like wavelength as I am because that game is fucking
It's
perfect.
good.
I need to play
It's
it.
really good.
We'll do a let's play of it, Connor.
They should put it on Switch.
I think what makes Nier perfect, like what I guess to make it feel as good as it is, you really have to invest your like everything into that game because it's extremely emotional, and that's how like you have to really get it. You can't just like play through it and go like, oh, it's fun to play. It's like no, you have to like
I
really.
mean,
pay
you
attention.
could.
Yeah.
But it still would just be like, it's a cool game. It's
Eh,
like what makes it perfect is the story and like how impactful it is.
yeah, it's like different people are capable of.
That's what I mean.
Different people are capable of like getting more
Eliciting
out of the
emotion.
story
No,
from
I
one
know.
playthrough than
What I'm
others. Like,
saying, well, with Nier, you have to play through it 5 times to get just part of the story. Like,
oh, okay.
5
The
main
playthroughs
endings.
actually change.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
There's 26 endings.
Oh,
And so
fuck.
for you to actually get the the full impact of the story, and it won best music of the year. So it's like that music isn't just there; it's a part of the environment. Like
See-
if you take out that music, that game will again just be like, but adding it just makes it boom 10 out of 10. Like it just builds so much.
Some people don't like open-ended stories. I'm the opposite. I don't like when there's so many fucking endings and only like one of them is canon because then I'm like, then the rest of that shit doesn't
No,
fucking matter.
There's 26, but 5 are canon.
How long?
5
Because it's every
God
letter of the
damn.
alphabet. Yeah, it's every letter of the alphabet.
Like
So-
23%.
Yeah, A through E. Like you have to play. Okay, this game is
20.
really cool.
That means 21 endings are
Yes,
bullshit.
It is, exactly.
Fuck that.
It's so much fun because the game doesn't actually start
Uh-huh.
until you're 30 hours into the game.
God.
Like you
Fuck.
play through the first 2, like
Maybe I
get
don't
ending
want
A.
this.
No, you get through ending A and you get through ending B. Then it shows like a trailer for what looks like a new game, and then you start playing it, and then it does all the credits and the title sequence, and that's like 25 hours into the game minimum.
I'm
the
just.
shit?
I
Like,
think
it
I'm.
is so
I'm
good.
I think I'm just too busy for this game.
It's
like
perfect.
it took me 2.5 months to
No.
beat South Park,
Okay.
and that was like 15 hours long.
Now, when
Just
you
because I'm busy with
play-
my job.
I know, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of aspects that go into making this game so great that are extremely unique as from any other game. The fact that it combines 4 different genres seamlessly into one motion, like top-down twin-stick shooter, Galaga style, bullet hell, third-person action RPG, and side-scroller,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
it can do
there-
that just in 2 steps.
The big question I have though is, so you said it's like 30 hours before the game starts.
Yeah.
But do you have to go through that every time for each different ending?
No. So like I said, the 5 main endings. So you play through once as 2B, and it's like, wow, that was really cool. And then you play the same thing again with 9S because he's your companion. But there's a lot of parts where he's not there. So you're playing first as 2B, and then you play as 9S and his story, and then those end together because it was starting and beginning together.
Okay.
And that's when it like does this whole sequence where then you kind of get a mission-based system where you can go between a different character and a different one, or you can just play as one and then play as the other. And those will give you obviously 2 new endings, but also there's a separate ending that's attached to one of the characters if you do something right. So those 5 main endings are like the main story, but a lot of the endings are a little bullshit because like you can blow yourself up, right? You can hold down and self destruct. So if you like, you
Oh,
go
was
to
that
the,
one of them?
yeah. So if you like go
Okay.
to the bunker where all the androids are and self destruct in there, it kills all the androids and you can't respawn. So it shows the credits really quick and boom, ending whatever. You know, so there's a lot of really funny ones, but it's hard to find them because
Right.
you just have to figure them out.
I feel you.
Anyway.
I mean, a game I really liked on 360, which kind of it reminds me of, is El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron.
Never heard of it. That sounds cool.
It's great. It's the story is based off of biblical, and you're playing as Enoch, who was casted away. But it does kind of do that where it's a action beat 'em up game, but there's a lot of like 3D platforming, and then there's like a level where it turns into fucking Tron, and you're on this bike, and it's great. I'll pull up some
What's it called?
gameplay. El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron.
Wow, I've never heard of it.
It's weird because like you hear El Shaddai and you're like, oh, okay, so it's gonna be like some weird blend of Arab and like Latin, because just by the
then
names.
Metatron.
And then Ascension of the Metatron. What?
Who made this game? I've never heard of that.
I don't remember. It was one of those games that in 2011 they were having a build of it at Anime Expo before it came out, and I played it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember the promotion for all of it. Never paid it really any real attention though.
It's really cool, and the art style is really cool.
Are there other El Shaddais?
No, this is
Oh,
the
okay.
this is the only one that was made. I'm fairly certain, now I could be wrong, that this game is made by the same company that made Catherine.
I can see that.
Nifty.
I can see that. Yeah, the visuals are pretty interesting,
Again,
unique.
trying to move on a little bit to where you're
It's not a
walking
cutscene.
around. Yeah,
What are you trying to find?
Just
I'm
like
just showing him
gameplay.
some like better gameplay to.
But we
more-
can't show gameplay to listeners.
Oh, hell
Oh.
yeah, I'll play that. Looks like fun.
That's fair. But the visuals, I should say, I'll describe what it is. It's very watercolored in some aspects. Like it's very, very bright, like really bright whites and hard blues. And the visuals change up depending on where you are and what you're dealing with. You're fighting demons and angels. It's a really cool game. And
It
you
looks
can get
kind
it
of
at,
like Kingdom Hearts, like
can-
the combat.
yeah, you can get it at GameStop for like $5.
I've never seen it. I have not. We do not have this at my GameStop.
I had it. I gave it to my little cousin recently because I gave him all of my 360 stuff.
Is it 360 exclusive?
360 PS3.
Okay, so PS3.
It's just Gen 6.
I mean, it's
That
not
was
on
last one,
Wii.
7.
I mean,
What-
that's
what
part
does
of that
Wii
gen,
count
right?
as?
It's that same generation.
Yeah, Nintendo kind of is really annoying because they have like the Wii
Really?
U came out at the same time as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but now they have the Switch.
Yeah.
So it's like what?
Came out a year before it too. Yeah, it's really weird too. The funny thing about it is that the processor that's in the Switch came out a year after the like Xbox One and PS4. So if they would have taken the year after approach, like they would have had the Switch essentially at the same time as launch of PS4 and Xbox One, rather than dealing with the Wii U for 5
I mean,
years.
it could have been the Wii U though, because like, who knows what went through their heads between, like how they got from the Wii U to the Switch. You know, like they probably were gonna do the Wii U regardless.
Yeah, it seems like they wanted to do the Switch, but they couldn't because they couldn't fit the power into the controller.
I don't know. I think they were having fun with the dual screen because obviously the
Yeah,
3DS
true.
is huge, and then they wanted to bring that to like a console version of it,
And it just flopped.
and it just flopped. Because Bayonetta 2 had to be exclusive to it, which was the only reason I played a Wii U.
Wii U had some interesting games. Right near the end of its life cycle, they came out with Devil's Third, which
Yeah.
is a Wii U exclusive.
For some reason,
Like it's a rated M shooter that's only on Wii U.
about a guy with tattoos all over his body. who
Yeah.
just kills people. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and half of me, I'm like, will you please get ported to another console so I can try you? Because you look absurd.
Yeah, you know what the worst part about the Wii U as well? Like, because a lot of times when you get a console, you're like, hey, I'll just get it. Like, I'll get it when it goes cheap. Like, if it wasn't successful or something you don't want to invest in. The Wii U never got cheap. Like, it stayed. I think it was still $200 when it was on shelves.
It's still like 179 pre-owned.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
It started
it's
at
expensive.
300, right? In the very beginning.
yeah, I believe so.
Launched at 300, I should have said.
Yeah, we.
And yeah, I
use
remember when
our-
it dropped to 200. That was when I got one.
But yeah, I remember like the Wii U was not selling and it was totally dead, and they were talking about how it's going to be canceled. And then I went to Best Buy and they were sitting there with the $200 price tag, and I was like, "What? Why are these still this much? You guys are canceling this."
What the fuck?
Yeah,
And you-
they're
and you
selling
just-
for a lot. They're selling for like $648.
And you just real quick Amazon one, and there's a inbox 32 gigabyte Black Deluxe Wii U for $650.
It's because it's in the box.
And then or you could buy a Nintendo Wii or Nintendo Switch for $325.
you get the Wii
There's-
Switch.
Yeah, there's more buying options for the Wii U from 130.
Jeez. So it was $300 for the basic, $350 for the deluxe. I say in quotes because it's like
yeah.
it was literally like if you want to actually play games, you need the deluxe version. Even then, it was what 32 gigs.
It was
on
32 gigs. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the original one was white and had 8 gigs.
Yeah, 32 gigs is deluxe.
It's ridiculous.
So I would like to, before we head out, because I know we got about 5 minutes. This weekend I am getting a computer
A gaming PC.
that can actually play things. So I would like
Woo, it's about
to,
time.
I would like to formally re-announce the segment that we did once
To actually play.
called the Game Club, because
Yeah.
now I can play
Indie Game
things.
Club.
I said indie game club. It could still be indie games, but like, because now if you guys are like before, I was like, don't be an asshat and pick something I can't play.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's like most indie games are on PC.
And most of them are on PC, so I'm just like, don't pick something like PUBG, which is technically an indie game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this frame rate is shit.
I think that's
2
what-
frames a second.
That's the first thing I said to you actually, because you're like indie games, and I was like, PUBG's indie.
Yeah, exactly. Or just something along those lines. I'm like, don't be a dick.
I was like, Witcher 3 is indie.
Yeah, it is. So I'm like, could you imagine like Witcher 3 PC version? I'm like, so you want to kill my laptop?
I mean,
CD Projekt
if I
Red is
played,
insane.
I think have we talked about Witcher 3 on this show before?
A little
Once,
bit. You
yeah.
you were talking about how you didn't like it.
Very dislike it.
Very
Very much dislike.
I wanted to bring something because
Huh.
I was mentioning this to Andrew before, but he wants to like be cheaper. But I was saying like I really recommend spending that extra. It's about $60.
I told you I would.
Going to a 1050 Ti instead of a
told you I would.
1050. Well, that was on the processor, getting the i5. But would you do it on the graphics card?
You're
too?
only getting
Probably
an
not.
i5.
I think it should go the other way around.
Well, because he was gonna go
No.
with a Pentium originally.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm spending like $450 at
Don't say.
most.
Dude, you have to get an i7 at least. Like, don't go with an
no, it
i5.
doesn't at least
No,
i5s
i5s
are
are
fine.
fine.
They're
but
fine, but
there's-
not for.
there's
I
almost
don't
gaming.
care if I could play something on medium at 30 FPS. That's all I care.
As
The
far as
GPU
gaming
matters
goes-
much more for that.
Yeah, as far as gaming goes, though, an i5 and an i7 have almost no difference.
Yeah, but the difference is there.
Who cares?
Hard.
I've noticed
not,
a big
like,
difference between two laptops.
No, I mean they're probably different generation laptops because I've done
1 year
tons of the
apart.
research. Yeah, that's a big difference.
I know.
Like if I
Especially
can,
if it was Skylake versus Haswell because
No, they were both Asus.
It's like-
no,
it's-
Skylake is
Oh.
the architecture of the Intel processor that's in it, or if
I
it was
see.
an AMD versus
It was not
Intel.
an AMD. It was an Intel.
Well, AMD have better graphics on board, so that's why I brought that. Like they have better.
I don't care about graphics. It's about speed.
So you don't care about an i7 versus i5, anyways. But
No, I care about processing speed. That's what a
Um,
CPU is a central processing computer.
right, but games are graphics engines.
Mhm.
The only games where it makes a big difference in is most times open world games, and even then those are starting to be more GPU bound.
what I was just gonna say is like I don't care as long as I can record YouTube videos on it at 30 FPS and not have a dip past that. I don't care.
So you should. Did you
And
already
have-
buy the parts?
No, he has
We're
not bought
going
any
to
parts.
Micro Center.
So swap those priorities. Go down to an i3 and get a 1050 Ti.
But
instead.
that's the thing is when it comes to recording, a processor is needed.
You don't think the high end i3s will would
They
be sufficient?
because it's because the i3s are still dual cores with hyper-threading.
They don't have quad core i3s?
No, i5s are the quad cores.
I
So
go for processing speed.
In
over
in any
everything
case,
else.
we're gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna try to spend like
should come with-
450,
you should come with
500 at
us, Miguel.
most.
On Saturday?
Yeah.
When? On Saturday.
Let's
in the
close the,
morning.
show out.
So
You
we're
guys
gonna
can
be
talk
closing
later.
out. We're gonna be closing out the show next week. We will. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. But I'm working on getting us some big guests. actors, voice actors. If you have somebody you want on the show, hit us up and let me know, and I'll try to make it happen. No guarantees it'll work, but let me know. From everyone here at the Kinda Gaming Show, we want to say thank you for listening. Thank you to the developers behind Gunhouse and all of those other awesome games. Thank you to Faye Mata for stopping in. 2 amazing interviews in one show. So thank you all, and maybe we'll actually play Jeopardy next week, and it won't be a clusterfuck. Who knows?
We'll have it more organized.
All right, guys. Have a good night, and remember to stay chaotic.